She had called me to 3 hours later after the baby was
Wait a minute, you went to the hospital, you were in a relationship, and you went to the hospital and had the baby without even letting them know?
Didn't let me know. The other guy must have been there.
And I was laying in a bed for 14 hours in labor.
Literally.
And you chose to lay on the gut.
Okay, and nobody, you had nothing in it. You had nothing in it.
Okay, but
He cheated on you.
he didn't cheat on me, sweetie. We wasn't together.
Mr. Brown starts off strong, insisting that he is Jaira's father. He's been there from day one, feeding her, bathing her, and even taking her to doctor's appointments when Ms. Lever couldn't be there. He's convinced that Jaira looks just like his other children, but Ms. Lever immediately shoots this down, claiming that Mr. Brown isn't the biological father. This sets the stage for a court battle full of emotional twists. Can Mr. Brown's love for Jaira really be enough to prove his fatherhood?
You may be seated.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello.
This is a case of Brown versus Lever.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Mr. Brown, you say you have always believed you were the biological father of the defendant's daughter, Jaira Lever. You have loved her and taken care of her.
As the tension builds, Ms. Lever drops a bombshell. She was involved with her ex during the time Jaira was conceived. She claims that she and her ex rekindled their relationship while dealing with a family crisis. This revelation puts Mr. Brown's paternity claim into question. He's stunned, but he continues to believe that Jaira is his daughter. The courtroom is gripped by the complexity of this situation, and it's clear that the truth will be hard to uncover.
Revealed to me that she was pregnant. And they also told me that there was a possibility that I might not be the father. Although I had heard this afterwards from other people, there was no doubt in my mind that Jaira was my daughter. She mentioned that I had been away, okay? But
the plot thickens when Ms. Lever admits that she and her ex were intimate in the hospital during the time Jaira was conceived. Mr. Brown, in disbelief, claims that he and Ms. Lever were also intimate during that time. But this new detail forces the question, who is the real father? This moment is critical in the case, and it leaves everyone in the courtroom wondering how this will play out. Can Mr. Brown's confidence withstand the revelations of Ms. Lever's affair?
I was not around.
Your
And
Honor,
he
in
was
July-
not there.
In July, I was at home. Miss Lever and I also were intimate July 4th in our home by the back door.
Oh my God.
No, let me explain. We were outside, it's 4th of July. My children, our children, went down the street where my niece lives.
Ms. Lever insists that Mr. Brown is not the father, and she takes it further, claiming that their entire relationship was rocky. She reveals she had been with her ex during a pivotal time, and now Mr. Brown is left wondering if he's been living a lie. His confidence begins to falter, but he's still emotionally invested. This is the first major crack in his argument, and the stakes feel higher than ever. Will the truth be enough to break their turbulent relationship?
He is not her father, and I told him that from day one. This has been a mess. And I told Mr. Brown that he was not her father because, like, this is my ex, you know? And when I end up getting pregnant, felt like it was my right to tell him so that he can move forward. But
So you felt like
In an emotional turn, Mr. Brown demands that Jaira be given his last name, but Ms. Lever shows the birth certificate, proving that Jaira's last name is Lever, not Brown. This moment is a gut punch for Mr. Brown, who feels as though his years of commitment are being erased. The birth certificate, a symbol of legal reality, forces him to confront the undeniable truth that Jaira may not be his biological child, despite everything he's done for her.
Miss Lever and Jaira is your ex's biological child. You all did not break up. You have a second child who's in question.
Yeah.
Genesis.
Yes, ma'am. Can I say something?
Even when we broke up, Your Honor, we were still intimate.
Can I-
When she first got her car, she bought a brand new.
As Mr. Brown begins to process the shock of the birth certificate, the conversation turns to their living situation. Mr. Brown insists on staying in the home because he doesn't want his children to grow up without a father, but Ms. Lever is adamant that he should leave. Their emotional tug-of-war adds more fuel to the fire as both of them argue bitterly in front of the court. The tension in the room is thick, and it's clear that this relationship is unraveling.
For
And so wait a minute. As I look at this birth certificate, Genesis, Summer, Lyric, Brown, Lever.
And Jaira's supposed to be the opposite.
That's what you want.
That's not what I wanted.
So wait a minute, Miss Lever, you did give Genesis his last name.
Yes, ma'am. As I believe that he is her father, but it is a possible doubt. I was with someone else during the time.
The DNA results for Genesis come in. Mr. Brown is confirmed as her biological father. While this is a bittersweet victory for Mr. Brown, the battle for Jaira is far from over. The courtroom breathes a collective sigh of relief, but the emotional weight of Jaira's paternity still lingers in the air. Can the results for Jaira offer the clarity Mr. Brown is desperately searching for?
In the case of Brown versus Lever, when it comes to 2-year-old Genesis Brown Lever, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Brown, you...
The moment arrives. Mr. Brown is not Jaira's biological father. The courtroom falls into a heavy silence as the devastating news hits Mr. Brown like a ton of bricks. His face says it all: heartbreak, disbelief, and the crushing reality of the situation. Ms. Lever, despite her own relief, knows this moment will change everything. The truth is out, but the damage done to Mr. Brown is immeasurable. Can this relationship ever heal?
Adults read as follows.
Oh, God.
In the case of Brown versus Lever, as it pertains to Jaira Lever, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Brown, you are not the father.
The case begins with Judge Lauren Lake addressing the courtroom. Mr. Haggerty, you're here to prove you are the father of your 29-year-old daughter after her mother recently claimed you're not. And right there, the tension is set. Mr. Haggerty confidently replies, "Yes, Your Honor." You can feel the emotion already building. This man has loved this child for 30 years, and now he's being told it could all be a lie.
Mrs. Wandick.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Mr. Haggerty, you've opened your case in hopes of saving your relationship with your daughter. She has distanced herself from you, and you claim it's because her mother recently lied and claimed you are not her father.
Then, the moment that shatters everyone's composure. Ms. Davis blurts out, "He was just a playmate." You could practically hear the oxygen leave the room. Ms. Wandick, the daughter, looks completely stunned. "That's not fair," she cries, tears rolling down her face. "You let this man believe he was my father for 29 years. This isn't just courtroom drama. It's heartbreak unfolding live."
Yes, Your Honor.
This is the man you always knew to be daddy.
Yes, Your Honor.
He's not. He was just a playmate, Your Honor. But I know who the biological father is.
Ms. Wandick continues, voice trembling but strong. "If you loved me, you wouldn't have played games with me or this man." Judge Lake's eyes soften, but you can tell she's fighting to keep order. The mother just sits there, emotionless, as her daughter breaks down. You can feel decades of betrayal coming out in real time.
It's very upsetting because she's just thinking it's all cute, fun, and game. You were young, yeah, true enough. I was young too, but I still had to do what I needed to do for my kids, and I would have told my kid from jump about possibly having another father.
And you're having to go through this on your own.
Yes, and she just thinks it's...
Now Ms. Wandick opens up about her childhood. "Mr. Haggerty was a wonderful father to me," she says. "He'd pick me up from foster care, take me around his family, treat me no different from his other kids." The entire courtroom melts. Mr. Haggerty starts tearing up, whispering, "That's hurtful, very hurtful." You can see this man's heart breaking in real time.
Going up.
Mr. Haggerty was a wonderful father to me. Like, I was in and out of the system, and he'll come pick me up from my foster care home, take me around to his side of the family, which is, they're awesome. Like, he's just been an outstanding dad. He didn't treat me no different from my sister.
Enter Ms. Davis's sister, Carolyn, and she drops a bombshell. She testifies that when her sister got pregnant, she told everyone Craig Haggerty was the father. No doubt, no hesitation. She never mentioned another man, Carolyn says. Talk about throwing your own sister under the bus. Even Judge Lake has to pause. The truth is twisting from every angle now.
My sister called me. She said, me and Craig just got through doing, and she said, I'm pregnant. And she told me and our family that Craig was Marzella's father.
Mr. Haggerty.
Mr. Haggerty.
She said it.
She said it.
She didn't name any.
Ms. Wandick then shares how she first learned there might be another father when a man she didn't know walked up to her, crying, and said, "I'm your dad, 19 years old, face to face with a stranger, calling himself her father." Can you imagine that shock? The courtroom is dead silent as she explains how she didn't even believe it at first, until she saw a photo of his mother and noticed a resemblance.
When I really found out things was I was at a sibling's house and this other man came up to me and he started crying and I'm like, whoa, why are you crying? Like, who are you? I don't know you. Why are you crying? Why are you looking at me just crying? And he was like, you don't know who I am? He was like, I'm your father. I'm like,
How old were you?
I was 19 years old, Your Honor.
Mr. Haggerty finds out about this other man right there in court. His face drops. "I found out today," he says, voice cracking. The entire courtroom gasps. For 30 years, he's believed he's her dad, and now he's learning another man might have claimed that title, all in front of cameras and strangers. Talk about gut-wrenching.
Still in your life?
Yeah, he still calls and check on us and stuff. And he claims to be my dad to right now.
So, Mr. Haggerty, did you have any idea about this other man?
No, I haven't. No, I didn't.
When did you find out about this?
I found out about this today.
Today?
Today.
When questioned, Ms. Davis admits the unthinkable. She was already pregnant by another man when she was playing around with Mr. Haggerty. "I wanted a baby by him so bad," she says tearfully. "I had 4 miscarriages." The pain in her voice is real, but so is the damage. She confesses she put his name on her daughter out of love and desperation. Judge Lake just shakes her head, caught between empathy and disbelief.
Man.
Yes. And Marcella was already conceived in my belly when I was playing with Mr. Haggerty. I was young.
Did you tell Mr. Haggerty that he was your daughter's father?
Yeah.
You told him that?
Yes. I
Did you tell the other man you were in the relationship that he was the father too?
The other man already knew because he called it when Marcella was first born.
Ms. Wandick says she's never seen her birth certificate, ever. Judge Lake holds it up, revealing the father's name belongs to the other man. The courtroom goes quiet again. The truth, literally written in ink, has been hidden from her for 29 years. Mr. Haggerty bows his head, clearly crushed. It's one of those moments that hits like a ton of bricks.
This is the child's name, mother, of course, Tessie Joyce Davis, and father's name. The other man is on the birth certificate. That is not Mr. Haggerty.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Miss Wandick, have you ever seen your birth certificate?
Then comes a rare, beautiful moment. Mr. Haggerty's biological daughter, Vanessa, takes the stand. "She looks more like my dad than I do," she says, tears streaming. The sisters lock hands and cry together. Vanessa declares, "Even if she's not my sister by blood, she's my sister." Judge Lake's voice softens as she says, "That's love, right there." You can practically feel the entire room tearing up.
The court, please.
My name is Vanessa Lachey Haggerty.
Miss Haggerty, thank you so much. So you are Mr. Haggerty's daughter.
Yes.
So do you believe Ms. Wandick is your sister?
Of course I do. She looks like my dad. She looks more like my dad than I do. That's all I've ever known. Like when we were young, we dressed alike.
When asked why she waited so long to tell the truth, Ms. Davis finally says it. "I felt guilty, but her daughter isn't buying it." "You waited until money got involved," she snaps. The courtroom erupts in tension again. 30 years of deceit and resentment are crashing down, and Judge Lake struggles to keep control. You could cut this tension with a knife.
Money, when this other man accumulated all this money, that's when she would say, "That's who really your dad is. You need to get some money from him." So it was all about the money because that's when she told me.
So when was this?
This was back in 2016, Your Honor.
Judge Lake takes a deep breath. "We can't live in this pain," she says. "We can't grow in this pain." Then, Mr. Haggerty whispers, "I love my daughter." The judge looks him in the eyes and nods, because no DNA test can measure that kind of love. The whole courtroom feels it.
I love my daughter.
I know. I know you do.
I love her dearly.
I know.
That's what I'm saying.
And
if you love me, the cycle will continue to go on and on
But
to
Miss
continue to
Wandick,
hurt
Miss
me
Wandick,
over and over
I
again.
want you to look at me, baby. I believe your mother loves you.
And here it is, the moment we've all been waiting for. Judge Lake opens the envelope and reads the results. In the case of Haggerty versus Wandick, Mr. Haggerty, you are not the father. Gasps fill the courtroom. Ms. Wandick bursts into tears, while Mr. Haggerty just nods, holding back his own. 30 years of love, now shattered by science.
In the case of Haggerty versus Wandick, when it comes to 29-year-old Marzella Wandick, it has been determined by this court.
Ms. Harris enters the courtroom with a complicated situation on her hands. Two men claiming to be the father of her 18-month-old daughter, Anaya. Her current boyfriend, Mr. Murray, and her ex, Mr. Donaldson, are both convinced they're the dad. Ms. Harris is here today to get some answers. The tension is already palpable as the case begins.
You may be seated.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello.
This is the case of Murray versus Gerald Donaldson.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Ms. Harris, you have been caught in a love triangle. There are two men in court today claiming to have fathered your 18-month-old daughter, Anaya.
Ms. Harris explains how Mr. Donaldson, her ex-boyfriend, left her when she got pregnant, saying he had feelings for another girl. While he was there for the baby shower and the birth, he wasn't around for the pregnancy. His departure left Ms. Harris alone during a time when she needed support the most. This betrayal is just the beginning of a long journey in court.
Yes.
Why is that? Let's talk about these relationships. Tell me about your relationship with Mr. Donaldson.
From my understanding, we was dating. But then when I got pregnant, he told me he had feelings for another girl. And he told me that he didn't want to be with me. So I was basically alone during my pregnancy. He was there during the baby shower and...
Mr. Donaldson admits that he didn't even believe Ms. Harris was pregnant at first. He thought she was trying to hold on to him by claiming pregnancy. Wow, really? This admission is shocking. It's clear that Mr. Donaldson's initial response was to doubt her entirely, adding to the emotional weight of the situation.
When your stomach started growing.
No, he brought me a pregnancy test.
Oh, he did? All right. So you brought her a pregnancy test and said, prove it.
Yeah.
And she did.
By that time, it was too late. She was like big. I hadn't seen her in so long. It wasn't even no point in getting a pregnancy test.
Mr. Donaldson eventually accepted the pregnancy once Ms. Harris's belly began to show, but by then, it was too late, as he says. This lack of emotional support from him only adds to Ms. Harris's frustration, and we can see how deeply this situation is affecting her.
Oh, because you could tell then she is pregnant. Okay, and did you accept at that time that you were the father of the baby?
Yes, I did.
You did. You acknowledged it and you accepted it.
Yes, I did.
Were you active in the doctor's appointments? Did you go to those?
No.
No.
Mr. Donaldson's mother didn't even know about the pregnancy until 5 months in. And even more awkwardly, Mr. Donaldson didn't tell her himself. His father did. Can you imagine that? This lack of communication and transparency only deepens the family drama. His mom finally accepts the paternity, but it's clear she's been kept in the dark for far too long.
I did not find out about it until she was about 5 months, maybe.
You never knew your son was possibly the father of this child?
When he told me about it, I accepted that he was because that's what Chastity stated, that he was the dad.
At what point, Mr. Donaldson, did you say, Mom, I have something I have to tell you?
I didn't even tell her, honestly. I told my father, and my father told her.
Mr. Donaldson admits he's seen Anaya only a handful of times, claiming that circumstances made it hard to see her as often as he wanted. This feels like a flimsy excuse given the emotional bond he should have developed with his child. How many chances did he really make to be involved in her life?
Times now. And your family has accepted the baby?
Yes, we accept her. But when all of this started, we kind of just backed away from the whole situation because it was getting a little messy.
So at what point do you start having doubts that Anaya is your grandchild?
Mr. Murray throws a huge curveball when he admits to having a threesome with Ms. Harris in December without protection. This just took an unexpected turn. Not only is this shocking, but it also adds serious complications to the paternity drama. The room is in stunned silence as this revelation hits everyone hard.
We had a situation December 14th,
What's the situation?
a threesome.
Oh, I didn't expect you to say that. Okay, so, wait, that's December. And you didn't use protection during that? I don't know what y'all out here doing. We know young people, and we know you're gonna be young, but this is This is a lot.
Ms. Weaver, Mr. Murray's mother, discovers the threesome and the pregnancy around March or April. She confronts her son and then Ms. Harris, who insists that Mr. Murray is not the father due to the dates of conception. This situation just keeps getting messier and messier. We're watching two mothers navigating their sons' poor decisions.
After the threesome.
Yes. And then like around, I want to say March or April, we found out that Chastity was pregnant.
Do you immediately say to your son, are you the father of this baby?
Yes, I did. And
And
he told
what did he
me
say?
no because Chastity told him no. And then I went to Chastity and I asked her.
Ms. Weaver starts to doubt the paternity of Anaya as she spends more time with her. But there's a twist. Ms. Weaver says Anaya looks just like Fred, Mr. Murray. This adds a layer of confusion to the situation, as everyone tries to determine who Anaya really resembles.
Certain, but you just felt like, based upon your experience, Mr. Donaldson, I really believe you're the father. And you told Mr. Murray you're not. Okay. So now Anaya's 18 months old. Who's in her life as father? Who does she bond with as father?
The tension continues to rise as Ms. Weaver compares baby photos of Anaya and Mr. Murray. It's undeniable. They look alike. But wait. Mr. Donaldson is quick to agree, even though he's clearly been pushed out of the equation. This moment is a roller coaster of emotions for everyone involved.
Do you still take Anaya to see Mr. Donaldson and his mother as well?
He's moved out of state, so...
Mr. Donaldson moved out of state?
Yes, that's what he told me.
Did you, Mr. Donaldson?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
The first round of DNA results come in, and it's a shocker. Mr. Donaldson is not the father. There's a collective sigh of relief, but the bigger question remains. Who is the father then? The tension in the courtroom is palpable as everyone awaits the next twist.
Mr. Gerald Donaldson, you are not the father.
The next DNA result is red, and Mr. Murray is also not the father. The entire room freezes as Ms. Harris's world crumbles in front of her. The heartbreak is visible on her face, and the gravity of the situation is clear. The final blow has been struck, and no one is prepared for the aftermath.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Murray, you are not the father.
You don't forget betrayal, especially when it's been festering for 26 years. Ms. Tant drags her ex-husband, Mr. Wynn, to paternity court to finally prove he fathered her son, Daniel. But Mr. Wynn insists her affair destroyed their marriage and tore their family apart. Judge Lauren Lake is determined to uncover the truth buried under decades of resentment.
Ms. Tant, you are disgusted that you had to drag your ex-husband to court to prove he fathered your son, Daniel. You are here to put an end to this question that has torn your family apart for more than 2 decades. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Wynn, you say that after your wife's reckless affair and lies, she became pregnant and tried to pass Daniel off as your son.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Wynn recalls meeting Ms. Tant when they were teenagers, full of hope and dreams. They met at a public pool, fell in love, and built a life together. He wanted one marriage, one family, one future, but life didn't turn out that way. You can hear the disappointment in his voice as he speaks, the weight of decades pressing on every word.
Here today to prove once and for all that you are not the father. You say that you're tired of your ex-wife's lies?
Yes, ma'am.
Explain.
Well, Your Honor, I met this woman and thought, life was going to be great. Marriage one time, kids, same woman. And now I don't feel that was, fulfilled.
Things took a dark turn when Mr. Wynn introduced his wife to an old school friend. At first, it seemed innocent, but soon, that friend was showing up constantly, doing her hair, and getting far too comfortable. Mr. Wynn says he warned them both to stop, but instead, the visits continued, always when he wasn't home. The seeds of betrayal had been planted.
Between the ages 17 and 18 at a public pool, and continued on to eventually move in together, have children, get married, and proceed on with our life.
So, Ms. Tant, were you excited about this new relationship when you met him as well?
I was excited, and it's like he said, we
Then comes the moment that shattered everything. Mr. Wynn returns home to find his baby daughter alone in her playpen, his wife nowhere in sight. He goes searching, knocks on the friend's door, and there they are, her red lace panties lying at the foot of the bed, the same ones he bought for her. 26 years later, his voice still shakes as he relives it.
And next thing I know, he's coming over, messing with her hair, supposedly a hairdresser, giving her all the comforts that I should be giving her. And I didn't feel that was right. And I spoke with him and asked him to back off. And I also spoke with my wife at the time and told her, this does not need to continue.
Ms. Tant denies it all. She swears she wasn't there and insists those weren't her panties. But the tension in the courtroom is undeniable. Mr. Wynn is visibly pained, his words sharp but exhausted. Judge Lake listens closely, piecing together a story that still doesn't quite add up. You can feel the emotional tug of war pulling the room apart.
And so then you found out they were sleeping together?
Yes, Your Honor. I'd been told that she wasn't in our apartment that we was living in. We lived in the same complex as this guy. One day when I'd come home, she wasn't home. My daughter was in her playpen by herself in our apartment. And I went and knocked on the door of this gentleman, and he opens the door in a pair of boxers and tells me, "Your wife ain't here."
Then there's the camping trip, a scene straight out of Heartbreak. Mr. Wynn says they went camping as a family, but the friend tagged along. They all ended up sleeping in the same tent. "I woke up, and she was between us," he recalls bitterly. Ms. Tant interrupts, "We only had one tent, but the damage was already done. The trust, long gone."
In his apartment, right at his foot of his bed. Your Honor, I was devastated. I was just ready to end it all.
Miss Tant, were you in the apartment with your husband's friend?
No, what?
Were those your red panties on the floor?
No.
We had went camping one weekend. Supposed to be a family outing, me and her, and he wanted to follow along behind. He had a motorcycle.
The confrontation that ended it all came soon after. Mr. Wynn tells Judge Lake he went to the friend's apartment and found Ms. Tant there, wrapped in nothing but a sheet. She doesn't deny it. "Yes, I did sleep with him that night," she admits quietly. For a moment, the courtroom is silent. The truth, decades late, still cuts like a knife.
My wife, I want to sleep next to my wife, not another man.
We only have one
Your Honor,
tent.
I wake up the next morning, and what happens? I'm against the side and she's in the middle between us.
You got up and moved in the middle?
Your Honor, she was with that man that night. She had to have been.
So, Mr. Wynn, did you have any other reason to believe that your wife and your friend were sleeping together?
Yes, Your Honor.
6 weeks later, Ms. Tant found out she was pregnant. She tells Judge Lake she was already 3 weeks along when she learned the news, but she never told her husband, not until their son was 2 years old. Mr. Wynn says she called him out of the blue to tell him he had a son. "I was joyful," he remembers. "I wanted to be a father."
I was going to kick the door in if they didn't open the door, because I knew she was in that apartment. And when she did open the door, she was dressed in nothing but a sheet wrapped around her. No clothing.
You opened the door in a sheet?
Yes, I did. That was also the day that I left him.
She left me and my child, a family, for another man.
And it was due to the arguing and the fussing, and I couldn't put up with it no more.
So,
you're gonna accuse me of doing something?
Mr. Wynn even moved back across states for her. He left Florida, came home to Texas, and tried to build a family again, but the ghosts of doubt followed him. He wanted to believe, but trust can't grow where lies have lived. Judge Lake's expression says it all. This is more than a case. It's two people trapped in the past.
6 weeks. I was 3 weeks pregnant when I found out 6 weeks later.
So, Mr. Wynn, when did you find out about the pregnancy?
Not till after the boy was 2 years old. She contacts me and tells me, "We have a son." So, I'm joyful. I have a son. I want to raise my son. I'm going to try to get back together and make a family out of it.
Then comes Daniel's turn to speak. He's now 26, sitting between the parents who've spent his whole life blaming each other. He listens quietly and says, "It's hard to hear. That line alone breaks your heart. Imagine hearing your parents argue over your very existence." The pain in his eyes says more than words ever could.
I've heard it over and over and over.
And that's exactly what I wanted to ask you. When did you become aware of all of this?
Since I was, from the earliest memory, every argument they've ever had always turns into this right here.
And so it would be, really, I want to understand this. Explain to the court, it would just start off as an average.
It would just start out as an average, you didn't do this or you didn't do that, and then it would just blow up very, very fast.
Judge Lake presses both parents. Did either of them ever truly move on? Could there be forgiveness after everything that happened? Both shake their heads. 2.5 decades later, and the wounds are still open. For this family, truth isn't just about biology, it's about closure, the kind that only comes from facing what's real.
I've ran across photos before, and my mother's actually said, she took the photos from me and said no.
Which photos did you run across?
I've ran across photos of the other man.
And Your Honor, I've been asking for years.
And where is that
since
man
this boy was
now?
little, you know, for a DNA.
He's deceased.
Prove that that's
He's
my son.
deceased?
Yes.
Finally, the truth arrives. Judge Lake opens the envelope slowly, her voice calm but heavy. In the case of Tant versus Wynn, she reads, when it comes to 26-year-old Daniel Whittle, Mr. Wynn, you are not the father. The courtroom freezes. Ms. Tant gasps, tears filling her eyes. Mr. Wynn stares down, silent. Daniel sits motionless, the truth rewriting his life in an instant.
In the case of Tant versus Wynn, when it comes to 26-year-old Daniel Whittle, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Wynn, you are not the father.
This episode kicks off with the tension already rising. We have Ms. Butler, who's 25, in a heated battle with Mr. Wilson, 48, who is adamantly denying the paternity of their 2 daughters, 4-year-old Zaria and 19-month-old Niana. Mr. Wilson claims Ms. Butler was always cheating, sending inappropriate messages, and hooking up with other men during both pregnancies. He's sure these kids are not his. Meanwhile, Ms. Butler is livid, insisting these kids are his, and she's tired of his denials.
Mr. Wilson, you've opened this case to prove you are not the biological father of Ms. Butler's 2 daughters, 4-year-old Zaria and 19-month-old Niana. You claim Ms. Butler had sexual encounters with other men around each pregnancy, and you are certain you did not father either child.
Judge Lake wastes no time getting straight to the heart of the matter. You're saying these 2 children aren't yours because of her infidelity? She asks, looking directly at Mr. Wilson. He nods firmly, saying, she's a habitual liar. She was messing with other guys. Ms. Butler shoots back, they're yours. I know they are. The back and forth is fast and furious, with both sides digging in their heels. Judge Lake observes it all, clearly taking note. This is going to be a wild ride.
All on the internet, I mean, you know, go to the apartment, everybody talking about who she messing with.
So you say these kids aren't yours?
No, they're not mine. They're not mine, not at all.
And Ms. Butler, you say he's absolutely incorrect.
Yes, these kids is definitely his.
So let me ask you this, because it's right here in my court files.
Ms. Butler, trying to defend herself, says there's no way these kids could be from anyone else. She claims they were always together and definitely not sleeping with anyone else. But Mr. Wilson drops a bombshell. He saw her get out of another man's car while they were together. His face is a mix of anger and disbelief. Ms. Butler immediately defends herself, saying, it wasn't a relationship, but Mr. Wilson isn't having it. I saw you with him. Don't lie.
Your relationship, and since there are 2 children here and you question paternity relating to both of them, I want to start with one child, and then we'll move on to the next child, so we'll make sure the testimony is understandable, okay? So let's start with Zaria.
The courtroom is on fire with accusations. Mr. Wilson says, I read the messages. She was calling this other guy daddy and sending him naked pics she sent me. Ms. Butler tries to play it off, admitting that yes, she sent some sexy pictures, but that was just a one-time thing. Judge Lake, looking baffled, says, so you sent the same pics to multiple men? Ms. Butler hesitates, then admits, yeah, I did, but not that many. The room just collectively goes whoa.
I was conceived. You thought you all were committed.
I thought so.
But we wasn't living together, so
That don't mean
it was
nothing.
kind of different though.
Oh, you can't be in a committed relationship unless you live together?
I mean, I did love him though, I really did, but
No, she didn't.
I did love you, but I just,
I mean, if you love me, you wouldn't have never, called at work with another guy.
The situation gets even wilder when Ms. Butler admits to trying to have sex with another man while she was still with Mr. Wilson. The man didn't finish though, because, as she puts it, we just stopped. Mr. Wilson is stunned. You tried? How can you try to have sex? He asks. Everyone in the courtroom is clutching their pearls. Judge Lake shakes her head in disbelief. I cannot believe you just said that. Ms. Butler's story keeps unraveling, and it's not getting any cleaner.
So we never really.
So, Mr. Wilson, how did you even find out Ms. Butler was pregnant with Zariah? Because she's admitting to everything you saying.
Yeah.
So,
well, we were still in close contact, and I thought, like I said, I gave her another chance, and she talking about she wasn't gonna do it no more, and doing the line like she always do. She a habitual liar, and I thought we was.
Mr. Wilson, clearly hurt, says, "How am I supposed to trust you?" He recalls the day he found out she was pregnant with Zaria. She said she had missed a period, so he told her to get a pregnancy test. She came back with the news that she was pregnant, but Mr. Wilson says, "In the back of my mind, I always knew the baby wasn't mine. Ms. Butler insists the baby is yours. We were always together, no doubt." The tension in the room is palpable.
Because my
That's
phone,
another situation.
I didn't have my phone around that time.
They got phones at the hospital. They got a way to get in contact. She didn't call me till 3 hours later after the baby was
wait a
born.
minute, you went to the hospital, you were in a relationship, and you went to the hospital and had the baby without even letting them know?
Didn't let me know. The other guy must have been there.
Like I said, I didn't have my phone.
What are you talking about?
Thank you.
When it comes to Zaria's birth, Mr. Wilson says he wasn't even told she was in labor until hours after the fact. "I didn't even know you were at the hospital," he says. Ms. Butler defends herself, claiming her phone was lost during labor, so she couldn't reach him. But Mr. Wilson's face says it all. "That's a lie. You didn't call me, and you were with the other guy." This whole situation just keeps spiraling. You can practically feel the courtroom sighing in disbelief.
I told her the last name would be Wilson, my last name. So the next day, I go to the hospital because they took the baby to another hospital. Come back here, go back there, the lady gave us our paperwork, it's back Butler. So I asked her, I'm like, how's the baby
Because
Butler?
you've been denying the baby, that's why. So why would her name be your last name?
Judge Lake, trying to piece together the timeline, asks, "Ms. Butler, why didn't you let him know when you were at the hospital?" Ms. Butler responds, "I didn't have my phone, Your Honor." Judge Lake, clearly skeptical, says, "Really? You didn't have a phone, and no one in the hospital had a phone?" The entire courtroom laughs nervously. Even Jerome looks like he's ready to run for cover. This story is way too convenient. You can see Judge Lake trying to hold it together.
Like, really, for real, like.
So if Mr. Wilson is not Zariah's biological father, do you know who is?
No, but
No.
the kids is his, though. I'm not thinking that.
You wouldn't have
the
a clue.
kids is his, so there's no other possible
Wouldn't have a
father.
clue.
No, the kids is his.
So if Zariah is not your biological
I'm
child,
gonna be sad because that's a wonderful little child and she shouldn't be put through that.
Now comes the real kicker, the birth certificate. Mr. Wilson says, "They asked me for the baby's last name at the hospital, and I said, Wilson." But the next day, when he checked, the baby's last name was Butler. Ms. Butler fires back, "You've been denying this baby since day one. That's why her last name isn't Wilson." The courtroom is silent. Judge Lake's face is a mix of disbelief and irritation. What is going on here? This is beyond me.
Or not?
Yeah, she said it. I'm not the daddy.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
That's not crazy.
Zariah?
Yeah, she's not my baby. You better go make some phone calls.
That's crazy.
I've been telling you for 4
he
years.
is not Zariah's biological father.
4 years I've been telling you.
Zariah? That is sad.
Then, Judge Lake presses on. "What kind of relationship do you even have with Zaria, Mr. Wilson?" Mr. Wilson says, "I raised her. She called me daddy, but I knew, in my heart, I'm not the father." He even says, "When I saw her eyebrows, I knew she wasn't mine. None of my kids have those thick eyebrows." The courtroom can barely contain its laughter. Eyebrows are now the deciding factor in paternity. Judge Lake looks at him and says, "I can't believe I'm hearing this."
Testimony, didn't we, Jerome?
But I did thought both of the kids was yours. Like, we always had sex without no condom. So that's why I don't understand. But Nyan is definitely yours, though.
It's a lottery, ma'am.
No, Nyan is definitely yours.
Let me compose myself because I want to get the information on Nyana because I do want her to know who her biological father is.
Ms. Butler, clearly upset, says, "It hurts because you should know these kids are yours." She tries to convince him, "I loved you. I still do. We had sex all the time." But Mr. Wilson just shakes his head, saying, "You slept with multiple men. How should I know?" Judge Lake, looking both exasperated and concerned, tells Ms. Butler, "You cannot just keep blaming everyone else. It only takes one time with another man to make a baby." It's a heavy moment, but the facts are staring everyone in the face.
Everybody's running out the house, and I caught a guy over there one time. I knocked on the door. She's trying to hide a dude in the bathroom. Multiple occasions.
There was not no multiple occasions.
guys.
You only seen one thing.
I only seen it one time, but everybody tell me. All apartments.
I'm always in the house. What you talking about?
Well, that's where you do all your nasty stuff in the house.
The DNA test results are in. Judge Lake announces, in the case of Wilson versus Butler, when it comes to 4-year-old Zaria Butler, Mr. Wilson, you are not the father. The courtroom gasps. Mr. Wilson, with an almost smug look, says, "Told you." Ms. Butler is stunned, her face in disbelief. "That's crazy," she says softly. Mr. Wilson just shakes his head. "I've been telling you this for 4 years." The weight of it all finally hits, and the silence in the room is deafening.
I'm ready for the results. Because in the case of Wilson versus Butler, when it comes to 4-year-old Zaria Butler, Mr. Wilson, you are not the father.
Told you.
Mr. Jackson walks into paternity court like a man on a mission, 20-year marriage on the line, demanding $5,000 for emotional distress and begging this court to expose what he calls a complete fraud. Ms. Jackson admits she slept with another man around the time their son was conceived, but insists she never tricked him into marriage. The stakes? Marriage, money, and a 20-year-old son's identity. Drama overload already.
Mr. Jackson, you are suing the defendant because you claim that your 20-year marriage has been based on a complete fraud. Now, you state that it was not until 1 year into your marriage that Ms. Jackson told you that you may not be the biological father of James Jackson IV. Am I correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And when today's DNA results are revealed, you demand that Ms. Jackson pay you $5,000 for emotional distress and finally sign the divorce papers.
Yes, Your Honor.
From day one, Mr. Jackson stepped all the way up. He went to doctor's appointments, cut the umbilical cord, gave James his full name, James Jackson IV. He's at graduations, wrestling meets, band events. He's not some part-time dad. He's the whole package. Watching him talk, you can see the pride mixed with hurt. Like, if this is a lie, it's the cruelest one.
Well, Your Honor, I think I've been tricked, Your Honor. She knew my past, and she knew that once she told me that she was pregnant, that I wanted a father in my son's life, like I didn't have a father in my life. So once she told me that, we got married in December of '95, a few months after she got pregnant, and come up a year into the marriage, and I find out that he may not be my child, Your Honor.
Then we get the origin story. Job Corps romance, nursing classes, and their legendary green grass motel, aka sneaking into the field because they couldn't mix dorms. Ms. Jackson admits she didn't take him that seriously at first. He looked like a nerd, mismatched clothes, picking his hair. I mean, just look at her face retelling this. She did not see lifelong drama partner coming.
It's wrestling meets. I was there. His band, I was there.
So take me back to this relationship.
We met in Job Corps. So we both took nursing classes together. The first time we had sex was in the Green Grass Motel.
What is that exactly?
When we was on the campus, we couldn't have sex in our dorms because it was separate dorm rooms. So we had to wait till nighttime to go out in the field and have sex on the Green Grass Hotel.
But here's where things get rocky quickly. Ms. Jackson casually drops that she also had another man, a party friend. Beach, drinks, all vibes, no commitment. She paints Mr. Jackson like the one chasing her, not the other way around. And Judge Lake's face says exactly what we're thinking. Ma'am, with this much overlap, how are we acting surprised to be in paternity court? Talk about messy.
Mr. Jackson, did you follow her to Kentucky? Did you want to have a family?
With her, it wasn't a family thing at that time. We was just going together. And actually, I was just going to see my girlfriend that lives in Kentucky.
So were you in any other relationship before you became pregnant? Before you figured out you were pregnant, were you in another relationship?
I had a boyfriend or a friend or hangout buddies that we'll go to the beach, we get drunk, we hang out, we party. I was a little older than he is, but you know, I wasn't really looking for him to be in my life. This guy was looking like a nerve. I didn't think he was gonna amount to much.
We finally get to protection talk. Ms. Jackson claims they used protection with Mr. Jackson, except for one time. Mr. Jackson agrees there was just that one unprotected moment, but that one moment defined his entire life. He married her when she said she was pregnant because he refused to be the absent father his dad was. You can feel how betrayed he feels, even explaining this heartbreaking stuff.
But see, Your Honor, I think Mr. Jackson is the one that tricked me. He and I kind of start hanging out, being playful and all that. And then we went in the shower and one thing led to another, but I didn't know.
So let me ask you something. Obviously, you failed to use protection at some point or we wouldn't be here.
Your Honor, the only time that we did not use protection was one time.
Now to the math, the part haunting Mr. Jackson for years. He insists the only possible conception dates she gave him were August 11th, 12th, and 13th. Yet James was born June 8th. He's like, so either he's not my son, or she pulled off the longest pregnancy in human history. You could cut the tension with a knife, while Judge Lake leans in on that timeline problem.
I was gonna be a father in my son's life, so.
And that's really the basis of your suit, is that you feel like she did this all, it was all a fraud.
Right, because
she manipulated and defrauded you.
Right, because up until actually now, I never knew that it was somebody else that could be the father. I just had doubts in the dates and time.
Let's talk about this doubt.
Okay.
When did the doubts begin to set in?
The only time that she could have got pregnant was those.
Judge Lake presses further. Pregnancies are about 40 weeks, so this 10.5-month math is not mathing. Mr. Jackson adds that doctors and a midwife told him those August dates couldn't be the conception period. That's the moment he truly began to doubt. Meanwhile, Ms. Jackson is trying to defend herself, but you can see Mr. Jackson's face. He's done carrying quiet suspicions.
Because unless he's not my son, or you're looking at the only woman that's been pregnant 10.5 months in history, the dates just don't add up. From August 11, 12, and 13th to June 8th,
Your Honor,
is 10.5 months.
So you feel like the dates are not adding up?
Your Honor.
Because that means, in your mind, you cannot be the father because that's too many weeks.
That's too many weeks, months, days, years.
Your Honor.
Yes.
Really, I think Mr. Jackson got upset because I told him he did the math and he thought he was gonna have his son.
Then Ms. Jackson hits us with the infamous 80-20. She admits there's another man, tall, light-skinned, and says there's an 80% chance he could be James's father, even though they used protection. I mean, 80% is not a casual number. Mr. Jackson is hearing parts of this for the first time in court. Judge Lake is stunned. We're stunned. Talk about drama overload.
And Your Honor, excuse me, but they induced her labor, so that wasn't the due date. They induced her labor. She made them take the baby. 2 doctors and 1 midwife told me that couldn't be the conception date. Period. I don't know.
The dates you gave me, August 11th, 12th, and 13th, could not be the conception date for a child born June the 8th.
No, it can't be.
It gets worse. Mr. Jackson explains Ms. Jackson once told him, while drunk in a hotel, that he might not be the father. She denies, then backtracks, then blames being drunk and confused. That back and forth, painful. Every time she shifts, you can see James watching his entire life narrative getting tossed around like it's nothing. Can someone pass the emotional seatbelts, please?
Don't tell me anything else. I don't want to know anything else.
This is the first time I'm hearing this, Your Honor.
Except.
This is the very first time.
I know now you're leading to the fact that you all had sex then.
But we always use protection.
Okay, but you 80% believe the other gentleman could be your son's father.
Yeah, he kind of looked like, but...
Now, James Jackson IV takes the stand, and this is where it hits hard. He says Mr. Jackson has always been his dad. Wrestling, band, graduations, everything. As a kid, he once overheard an argument hinting Mr. Jackson might not be his biological father, but he brushed it off because dad never left. Just look at his face in this moment, composed, but you can see that 5-year-old confusion still sitting there.
So that's when we would drink. It's not like I was an alcoholic, and it was not like he was drinking all the time.
Did you ever tell him that James Jackson IV was not his son?
He got me drunk at the house and trying to get the truth out of me, Your Honor. So I was
did he
drunk.
get the truth out of you?
Yes.
Okay.
But
So wait a minute. You said he got you drunk and tried to get the truth out of you, and you told him.
James explains that as he got older, Mr. Jackson would joke about how long he supposedly stayed in the womb, 10 or 11 months, as a subtle way of preparing him for possible truth. That's not just a joke, that's a dad low-key bracing his son for impact. And yet, James stands firm. No rumors, no outsiders, no one ever told him Mr. Jackson wasn't his father. This is his dad, period.
Did you ever know that there was a doubt relating to your paternity?
Your Honor, this man before you has always been my dad. He's been there through my graduations, he's been there through my wrestling meets, band, everything.
Beautiful. And I can see, Mr. Jackson, this really hurts you. Mr. Jackson the fourth, did you ever have any knowledge that there was a question?
Then Judge Lake locks in on the real stakes. If the test shows James is not Mr. Jackson's biological son, Mr. Jackson says he's divorcing Ms. Jackson. But plot twist, he then says, even if James is his biological son, he still wants a divorce because he's already got a girlfriend waiting to marry him. Ms. Jackson is furious, reminding him they married for life. Talk about everybody having an angle.
Pay no attention to it because he will always be there for me. So I would think it was just a petty thing to say during arguments, you know? He would be downstairs and my mom would be upstairs. And I would think it was just, you know, a little doghouse, you know, him, you know, get his punishment for the arguments or whatever.
Ms. Jackson refuses to sign the divorce papers and flat out says she will not pay a dime to help him marry someone else. The courtroom energy right now, nuclear. You've got paternity doubts, a 20-year marriage, another possible father, a committed son, and a husband already planning his next wedding. And that's when Judge Lake finally says she's heard enough and calls for the results. Cue the drum roll.
For example, he would sit me down and say, how long does a baby stays in the womb? And I would say 9 months. He was like, well, it took you 11 or 10. And I would say,
as he's older now.
As I'm older, as I can understand things more better. So I guess he was trying to prepare me. But it would be brief conversation so I wouldn't be too heavily on the fact.
And we stop right there. The envelope is in Judge Lake's hand. Everyone is holding their breath. Mr. Jackson, Ms. Jackson, James Jackson IV, and honestly, all of us. No smiles, no celebrations yet, just raw tension as decades of love, doubt, and accusations hang on what's printed in that one sheet of paper.
In the case of Jackson III versus Jackson, when it comes to 19-year-old James Jackson IV, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Jackson, you are his father.
It's about to get wild in paternity court, y'all. Ms. Austin is back, for the third time, with Mr. Wallace. And if that's not deja vu, I don't know what is last time. She came to prove he was the father of one child. Now, it's her 9-month-old son, Ronell, on the line. Judge Lake can barely believe she's seeing these two again. And from the look on her face, she's already over it.
Ms. Austin, this is your third time here in our courtroom with Mr. Wallace and Ms. Roberts. Previously, you were here because Mr. Wallace questioned the paternity of your other child, but now you find yourself in the same situation. Today, you say you need to prove to Mr. Wallace that he is the father of your 9-month-old son, Ronell, so that he can begin to step up and be a father.
So here's the tea. Ms. Austin says she's here to finally make Mr. Wallace step up as a dad. But Mr. Wallace, he's back in court, acting like he's starring in his own soap opera, talking about multiple reasons to doubt while sitting next to his girlfriend, Ms. Roberts, like everything's fine. Spoiler alert, it's not.
Mr. Wallace, you claim you have multiple reasons to doubt when it comes to whether or not you are the biological father of this child, and hope today is your last visit to this courtroom. Let's take a look at what happened the last time you all were here.
I thought Ryan got himself together.
Judge Lake reminds us this is not their first rodeo. We flash back to their last case, where Wallace was proven the father of another child, and yet somehow he's back here again. The man even admitted on national TV that he loves his kids, but shouldn't have gotten married. I mean, you can't make this stuff up.
Roniel, yes, Mr. Wallace. So now, Mr. Wallace, you back with Miss Roberts.
Yes, ma'am.
But you still going back and forth between the two women, because she's pregnant now, and the baby could potentially be yours?
Yes.
Because let me just say something, because the last time I talked to you on the phone, you know I called you one day. You had your kids, you sounded so happy.
Ms. Austin, bless her heart, tells Judge Lake things were good for like 2 minutes after the last hearing, but then chaos struck again. She says Wallace started bouncing between her and Ms. Roberts like a ping pong ball, and to make it even juicier, both women ended up pregnant again. Judge Lake's face says it all, pure disbelief.
When people ask me some of the cases that mean the most to me, you're one of the people. And so I have to say before I even start today, I'm so mad you all back up in here. So, Ms. Austin, I have to ask you, what has happened since the last time you all were here?
Since the last time we was here, everything started out okay, but we all knew that wasn't gonna last long. Ryan Wallace was still bouncing back from me and Kendra.
When Judge Lake asks what happened, Ms. Austin tries to laugh it off, but the judge isn't having it. It's not funny, she says, calling out that smirk on Austin's face. And honestly, she's right. This whole situation is just sad. Even Austin admits she's disgusted with herself for being back in court for the same reason.
First of all, I don't know if it's because you're nervous, Miss Austin, which, look, I wouldn't blame you if you were, but it's not funny. I keep seeing a smirk on your face. You know
it's sad. Because it's sad that I'm back here again.
You're disgusted with yourself that you're back here.
Yeah, for the same reason.
I can see behind your eyes the hurt. And the baby could potentially be yours?
Yes.
And the child that we are dealing with in terms of the paternity results today.
And then, Mr. Wallace decides it's his time to talk. He accuses Ms. Austin of being very promiscuous, and even confesses to putting spyware on her phone to monitor her texts. Yep, you heard that right. He installed digital surveillance like he's working for the FBI. The audience gasps. Ms. Austin fires back instantly. Where's your proof?
Mr. Wallace has been going back and forth between you two women, and you two women are still falling for it. Why is there a doubt then, Mr. Wallace, as to whether or not her child is your child if you've been having babies with both of these women back and forth all this time?
Because she's very promiscuous. When we was together, I had installed, it was like spyware on her phone.
Things get heated, fast. Ms. Austin says she never cheated. Wallace keeps insisting she did, and suddenly he calls her a slut right in court. The entire room goes silent. Judge Lake stops the show, her tone turning sharp. You will speak to women respectfully. The courtroom tension, you could slice it with a butter knife.
Ms. Austin, were you sleeping with these men?
No. Lie detector me, please, right now.
How is you can't just be involved with all these different men without doing it?
Who, I'm not you, just because you lay down with everybody who you talk to. Because that's what you do.
You and the Lord know you a slut.
No,
like,
you're a slut.
Hold on.
You're a slut. You're a
Mr.
slut.
Wallace, you remember from the last time you were here.
Ms. Austin fires right back, asking the million-dollar question. If I'm all that, why you keep sleeping with me? Her voice is trembling, but fierce. Mr. Wallace shrugs and says, easy access. The audience collectively gasps. Even Ms. Roberts looks like she wants to disappear under the bench.
But see with somebody else,
yes,
man, then you got low self-esteem.
Ladies, you guys want to hear the case?
Let's get some order. Let's get some order. Get her, Raniel. Court is back in session in the case of Austin v. Wallace. Due to the exchange that occurred between Ms. Roberts and Ms. Austin, Ms. Roberts has been removed from the courtroom. You know, we're here because yet another child is in the world, and we're unsure if you are their biological father.
And just when you think it can't get any messier, it does. Ms. Austin throws out, "That's why I'm pregnant again." And you can see Judge Lake fighting to maintain courtroom order. Ms. Roberts tries to interject from her seat, but it escalates into shouting. The energy in that courtroom is pure chaos.
Before we had to take a recess, we were dealing with the issues as it relates to the doubts surrounding the paternity. You were outlining that you felt like Ms. Austin was sleeping around.
Yes, ma'am. If you're talking to other people while you're pregnant and right after you're pregnant, of course, I'm gonna have doubts about the child.
Right. Miss Austin, are you admitting that you also had a relationship with somebody else during the time?
Security gets involved as things nearly go physical. Ms. Roberts has to be removed from the courtroom entirely after exchanging words with Ms. Austin. Judge Lake's frustration is at its peak. "We are not going to do this again," she says, practically begging them to get their lives together.
And so, at the end of the day, you all can see now that two wrongs never make a right. They make more wrong.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? Because you were wrong, for going back and forth between the two women, and then you were wrong for being pregnant and talking to other men and expecting him to then believe your child is his child automatically.
Back in session, it's just Ms. Austin and Mr. Wallace now. Judge Lake is trying her best to make sense of it all. Wallace doubles down on his doubts, claiming Ms. Austin was talking to other people right after giving birth. She shakes her head, denying it all, but the exhaustion on her face says she's tired of this roller coaster.
So what happened?
You were being promiscuous, and I'm not gonna tolerate that.
So basically, Mr. Wallace, you can sleep around, but your women can't. Mr. Wallace, I see right now, not much has changed since the last time we were here. I was hoping that it would. Another thing that hasn't changed, that there's another child, paternity's in question, and you are a possible father.
Judge Lake presses her. Was there anyone else during that time? Ms. Austin hesitates, saying, I wouldn't even call it a relationship. The courtroom murmurs, girl, that's not helping your case.
Walk me through what these pieces of evidence are. The first piece is
The chin. You see that chin? Look at their feet.
So you say their feet are alike?
Yeah.
But they don't change your mind?
No, ma'am. It's just like you go to a police lineup. They put you in there with 6 other men who look just like you.
And you got picked out of it, so
you
he
can't
was
just go off
like
look.
you.
Mr. Wallace seizes the moment, calling her out for playing both sides. He looks furious, accusing her of making him look like a fool on national television. Ms. Austin gets teary-eyed, her voice breaking as she says she just wants her son to have a father. The vulnerability hits hard. Even Judge Lake softens a bit.
Because of Rael left me to go be with Mr. Robert. He don't care. It's all about him, and he doesn't care. And I'm done. Like, what more can I put into this?
That's false.
The problem
Yana.
is because he said he didn't want to stay with Kinsley anymore. He wanted us to be back a family. And I did what I had to do to move into the apartment, Your Honor. I do everything for him. I spent his side. When he had his apartment, he went through a lot.
Judge Lake takes a deep breath and leans forward. She reminds both of them that they've been here before, and yet nothing's changed. You two have turned this courtroom into a revolving door, she says, and she's right. The cycle of doubt, drama, and disappointment feels endless.
Every day he leaves me. Like, what more could I do?
That's because you always have other men.
No.
Mr. Wallace, do you hear her?
She could
He
sit
said
here and put on a show, but
no, that's not a show. Everybody
you stop
knows
having
that.
other men,
Everybody,
we wouldn't have this problem.
Everyone knows that. Sits in my house. Next is Miss Robert.
Miss Austin, for the life of me, I don't.
Then the bombshell. Mr. Wallace admits he's been back and forth between Ms. Austin and Ms. Roberts, even while both were pregnant. You can practically feel the air leave the room. Judge Lake's face is pure disbelief. She's looking at him like, sir, what is wrong with you?
One child together, maybe 3. I'm trying to understand the extent of you feeling like he left you. You say he's always leaving you.
Yes. Every time I look up, he's picking a reason to leave.
Explain that to me.
Like, not too long ago, Rael left the house. He left the house.
At this point, Ms. Austin is visibly emotional. She talks about wanting stability for her kids, her voice cracking. She says she keeps ending up back here because she hopes something will finally change. Judge Lake nods slowly, her tone softening. This isn't just courtroom drama anymore. This is heartbreak on repeat.
Well, like 3 days ago, because him and Kinsley had a fight.
When you just broke down a moment ago, I felt for you because I see a young woman here that desperately is trying to have a relationship with somebody that
doesn't want me.
She's lying now. Everything
Austin,
she told you
I
was
don't
a lie.
even know if he doesn't, it's not that he don't want you or he don't want Miss Roberts. Mr. Wallace hasn't grown enough where he can be in a position to want anybody or to truly commit to anybody.
Then comes the moment everyone's been waiting for. Judge Lake opens the manila envelope with that signature calm, but the tension in the room is off the charts. Ms. Austin is trembling. Mr. Wallace looks like he's bracing for a knockout. The audience holds its breath. In the case of Austin versus Wallace, the truth is about to explode.
These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Austin versus Wallace, pertaining to 9-month-old Ronell Wallace, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Wallace, you are Ronell's father. I want to get you all some help. I have joining me today.
Mr. White walks into paternity court with 30 years worth of pain and one mission: prove that his ex-wife, Ms. Julia Mock, had his parental rights taken so another man could adopt the daughter he believes is his. He wants answers, a DNA test, and $5,000 for emotional distress. Ms. Mock? She's cool, calm, and adamant. She owes him nothing and wants him gone for good. Talk about stakes.
Mr. White, you've brought your ex-wife to court today because you believe she mysteriously had your parental rights revoked for a girl you believe was your biological daughter, thus allowing another man to adopt her.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, you've petitioned the court for a DNA test and say once the results prove that you are indeed Miss Tasha Mock's biological father.
We jump straight into Mr. White's history lesson. Early 80s, he and Julia are married, they have a son, then she's pregnant with Tasha when he goes to prison. She puts his name on the birth certificate, brings baby Tasha to see him once, and then he's shipped upstate for 10 years. He fights a petition to terminate his rights, and actually wins from behind bars. I mean, just look at Judge Lauren's respect. Good lawyering, indeed.
You don't owe him a single dollar, and it's your hope that when today's test results are revealed, Mr. White will leave you and your daughter alone for good.
Yeah.
So, Mr. White, obviously you feel you've been lied to. Please explain to the court why.
Your Honor, in the early 1980s, Julia and I were married. She birthed me a son 10 months afterwards. A year later, she was pregnant with Tasha, and I ended up going to jail. She was 2 months pregnant when I went to jail. 7 months after I went to jail, she gave birth to Tasha.
But then things get rocky quickly. Mr. White explains that after he won, the court ordered Julia to bring the kids to visit and accept his calls. Instead of healing, it spirals. Ms. Mock later tells him she's having Tasha adopted because Tasha is not your daughter. That's the first time doubt even enters his mind. You can feel his whole world glitch in that moment. Drama overload.
About a year after that, she petitioned the court to involuntarily terminate my parental rights to both my son and to Tasha. I acted as my own attorney because I had nothing but time, so I went to the law library and I taught myself law, and acting as my own attorney, I fought it in court and I won. And at that time, it was the opinion of the judge at that time that Julia, or Miss Mock, had intentionally moved with the children on at least 3 different occasions.
Now Ms. Mock steps up, and her explanation is something. She admits she was married to Mr. White, but sleeping with one other man, the mystery man she believes is Tasha's real biological father. She put Mr. White on the birth certificate because they were married. Judge Lauren is locked in, eyebrows working overtime. Talk about messy.
That's the first time there was ever any question in my mind, really, that she was my daughter or not.
Ms. Mock.
Yes, Your Honor.
You are submitting to this court that Mr. White is not, in fact, her biological father?
I don't believe so.
Please explain why, specifically.
He was always leaving me, going out with other women. Why should I have to deal with that?
So are you saying because he would leave you and go out with other women, you would sleep with other men?
Nope, I supped with one.
Then we get Tasha's side, and this is where your heart tightens. Growing up, she believed her adoptive father was her real dad. Then, as a kid, she overhears her grandmother mention another possible father. Later, after her brother passes, she finds adoption papers saying Don White is not her father. You can see the confusion and betrayal all over her face. Heartbreaking stuff.
So therefore, it's your belief that you were sleeping with this man that truly is Miss Mock's biological father, but because you were married to Mr. White, you put his name on the birth certificate?
Yes, because the other gentleman walked out of my life too.
Miss Mock,
yes, Your Honor.
Who did you actually think was your father?
As a teenager, she finds her birth certificate with Mr. White's last name. When she confronts her mother, Julia brushes it off with, "You're a Mock now." No denial, no clarity, just identity whiplash. Julia then admits she stopped taking Tasha to see Mr. White in prison, remarried, and let her new husband adopt Tasha. And somehow, no one can quite explain how that adoption happened with Mr. White's rights previously restored.
Yes, when I was 16, I had found a birth certificate. My mother and I were going through a trunk, and we found my birth certificate, and on it had Mr. White's last name.
Did you question your mother?
Oh, absolutely. And she stated just that I was a mock now.
So she basically didn't deny the fact that this man, Mr. White, was your father on your birth certificate, but she just said you're a mock now?
Mr. White is fired up. He tells the court the Indiana County Court allowed an adoption, even though he never willingly relinquished his rights. He believes he was cut out illegally, robbed of 30 years with his daughter, and she was robbed of knowing her natural father. You could cut this tension with a knife. The way he looks at Tasha, that's not an act.
Illegally allowed Tasha to be adopted. These people have accosted me 30 years of being able to experience with my daughter growing up. They've denied her the right to know her natural father. This is a God-given right to everybody.
Ma, what is the motive behind all of this?
I was trying to protect them.
So you were trying to protect your children because you didn't want them to have to go back and forth to jail to visit their father, or were you trying to protect Tasha because you didn't believe Mr. White was her father?
Judge Lauren shifts to Ms. Mock's motive. Was this really about protecting the children from prison visits, or about making sure Mr. White was erased? Julia claims it was partly protection and partly believing he wasn't the father. Then attention turns back to Tasha. When did she decide she needed the truth? That's when this case stops being legal drama and turns deeply personal.
Tasha, I have to ask you, at what point did you just decide, I want to know the truth?
Well, when I was 26, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, and I put a lot of thought into it. I was blind and I couldn't walk, so I had nothing but time to sit and think about it. And then when I had turned 28, I got my vision back.
Tasha explains she was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis in her mid-20s. Blind, unable to walk, stuck with her thoughts, she started questioning everything: health history, identity, bloodlines. Eventually, at 29, she tracks down Mr. White on Facebook, messages him, and drops the bomb. "I was born Tasha Renee White. Are you my father?" His reaction? He gets on the road to see her within hours. I mean, just look at that reaction.
How did it feel when you first saw her?
I don't know the words to express it because there was such a warmth and a flood to come over me when I got to wrap my arms around her. It was like nothing in the world mattered at that point. You know, it's a 30-year battle is over. I finally won. That's how I felt.
You say these 30 years have been filled with so much pain.
Yes, they have. I lost my only son. The first time I saw her was at my son's funeral.
Their first real meeting after decades apart is emotional. Mr. White describes holding her and feeling like a 30-year battle was finally over. You can see him clinging to that moment, like proof that all his fighting meant something. Tasha, though, is still guarded. This man is a stranger and a maybe father rolled into one. The emotional mismatch here? Who?
To get in touch with me is because she thought I'd be mad as hell. I said, I understand you were an angry 14-year-old girl that just lost your best friend in the world.
Mr. White, can you please explain to the court and to Ms. Mock the basis of your suit?
Well, Your Honor, I believe that the emotional distress that I've been put through by the obvious deception by Mrs. Mock is well worth the $5,000 I'm asking for emotional distress.
Then Mr. White lays out his $5,000 claim. He says Ms. Mock's deception caused emotional distress, and he wants that money to invest in Tasha's child's future, his possible granddaughter. Meanwhile, Julia is not having it. She snaps back that she worked shifts, babysat, took the kids camping, did it all alone, and if anything, he owes her. She's gripping that podium like it's evidence exhibit A.
Cook's Forest or wherever is a camping trip. That was all me. All my blood, nothing to do with him. And I don't owe him anything. He should owe me at least an apology for leaving me. And that is my child. I don't want to share her anymore.
If Mr. White is deemed to be the biological father today,
he'll take her from me.
That's what you feel?
Yes.
She's a grown woman. Why do you say he'll take her from you? She's not gonna, where's she going?
Julia's fear spills out. If Mr. White is proven the biological father, she thinks he'll take Tasha from her emotionally. But Tasha is 30, not 3. Judge Lauren is side-eyeing that logic hard. Then Julia swears she doesn't know where the other man is, doesn't want to know, and doesn't want Tasha chasing him either. You can feel everyone in the room thinking, so whose needs are we prioritizing here?
She has a father. He adopted her.
Do you understand the need, the desire,
Yes.
the longing in her to know who her biological father is?
Yes.
And as her mother, is there a part of you that wants to provide, to fulfill that need?
Yes.
That's a natural mother's instinct.
Yes, I do. I only want my daughter to be happy because of her illness. I don't know how long she's going to be on this earth.
Judge Lauren zeroes in. She acknowledges Julia's pain, but calls out the contradiction. You say you want your daughter happy, yet you're blocking the truth about her biological father Tasha's illness, her need for medical history, her longing to belong. It all collides with her mother's unresolved hurt. Julia breaks, crying that she only wants her daughter happy because she doesn't know how long she'll have her heavy.
You want to make your daughter happy and do what's necessary to make sure she gets the information she needs to be able to live a happy life. On the other hand, if you have to help her find another gentleman that may potentially be her biological father, you're not willing to help? That doesn't make any sense.
He left us.
Okay, but she's trying to find out who her biological father is. It's as if because the men wronged you,
Mr. White steps in with something powerful. He promises that if he's not the biological father, he'll still help Tasha find the man who is. He says he made her a promise when she reached out that he'd help her find the truth, no matter what. The contrast is wild. The alleged absentee father is now the one offering to help her uncover everything, while the mother is pulling back. Drama overload.
from in your own words, why is it so important to you?
I've had a longing for it for so long, and then when I got diagnosed with the MS, like, okay, is this part of his life or is this part of my mother's world? It's very important for me to know who my biological father is.
Tasha, holding back tears, finally spells it out. She's felt incomplete for years, and now, with her health on the line, she needs certainty. Is this MS coming from her mother's side? Her father's side? Who is her father? Her voice shakes, but she's crystal clear. This isn't about money, it's about identity. You can feel the entire courtroom holding its breath with her.
In the case of White versus Mock, pertaining to 30-year-old Ms. Tasha Mock, it has been determined by this court, Mr. White, you are not the father.
Judge Lauren senses the weight of the moment and invites Tasha to stand next to Mr. White as she prepares to read the DNA results. The envelope is in her hands. Tasha is literally between the man who raised her in his heart and the mother who controlled the narrative for 30 years. Cue the drum roll, because whatever is on that paper is about to change everything.
Are you okay? Mr. White, are you all right?
Yes, Your Honor, I will be.
I know it's not the news you wanted. You say that you will help her find her biological father if she asks for that help. And I hope you live up to that, Mr. White.
I most certainly will, Your Honor. I told this young lady when she first stepped into my life I'd help her find the truth.
Imagine walking into paternity court fighting to keep your spot as dad. That's Mr. DeMarcus Patterson. He named 4-year-old DeMarcus Jr., raised him, loved him, and now the child's own mother, Ms. Kaylin Knight, is saying, he might belong to someone else. You can already see DeMarcus clenching that podium like it's shared custody. Talk about messy already.
Mr. Patterson, you opened your case today to prove that you are 4-year-old DeMarcus Patterson Jr.'s biological father. You named him and have cared for your junior since birth and are furious the defendant now claims another man is his father. Is this correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right away, DeMarcus explains he was there from second one, literally. He talks about DJ coming out, crying, then locking eyes with him and instantly calming down. You can see how deep that memory hits him. He's glowing. Judge Lake is nodding, and I mean, just look at that reaction. This man is certain that's his son, at least emotionally.
He is DeMarcus Jr.'s biological father, and another man could be. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Patterson, you testify you've been there since day one. Please explain.
I've been there since birth, since he came out the womb, since he entered this world. When the doctor first, held him up and finally gave him to him, I witnessed him just completely quit crying and looked me dead in my eyes, and that's when, at that moment I knew.
Then we slide into the backstory. Kaylin admits she told DeMarcus from the beginning there was a possibility another man could be the father. Meanwhile, Meanwhile, DeMarcus calls it their house-hopping era. She left her parents' house, moved in with him. They were together non-stop. It sounds romantic until you realize the foreshadowing is screaming drama overload already lurking.
We was gonna leave as a happy family, but
But it didn't happen that way.
Not exactly.
And when that baby came into the world, you were there to receive him, gave him your name.
Yes, Your Honor.
But now there's doubt as it relates to the mother. So, Ms. Knight, you contend that Mr. Patterson is not DeMarcus's biological father?
Things got rocky quickly. DeMarcus cheats, Kaylin leaves, and where does she go? Straight to Ladarius Sigler. Yes, the other possible father. She and Ladarius hook up, run out of condoms, and she literally tells him, "Go ahead and get me pregnant, ma'am." Out loud? On record? This is not how you close a chapter. This is how you start a spin-off.
House hopping thing, cause like in order
Doing the what?
the house hopping thing, cause when she moved out of her parents' house, she ain't had nowhere to go, so let her live there too.
I mean, that's how we started our relationship. We were together every day since then. DeMarcus ended up cheating on me within the time we were together, and I ended up leaving with Ladarius, the alleged father, and basically we didn't work out at all.
Kaylin then finds out she's pregnant while with Ladarius and calls DeMarcus. So, it could be his baby or yours. And what does DeMarcus do? He pulls up, loads her bags, and brings her home, knowing full well there's a 50-50 situation in her belly. You can feel Judge Lake mentally underlining that. That's loyalty, delusion, or love. Maybe all three.
She knew she was too fast for me anyways, but I'm just going by what
So,
we
Ms. Knight, where did you go? What is going on here?
I decided to leave because I wasn't over the fact that he cheated on me with this female. So yeah, I did that, but I found out I was pregnant while I was with Ladarius.
Okay, I want to go step by step because I want to understand. When you left, you ended up with Mr. Sigler.
Cut to delivery day. Kaylin's water breaks. DeMarcus jumps up ready. They rush to the hospital. He's there the whole time. Doctor cuts the cord before he can, but once he sees that baby, he claims him on site, signs the birth certificate, gives him his full name, throws the DNA test idea in the trash. You could cut the tension now with a legal-sized envelope.
So I told and begged DeMarcus. I didn't beg him. I said, DeMarcus, come get me. And DeMarcus pulled up in the car and was like, where's your stuff? He carried my stuff on his back and got in the car. We went on about our way. Him knowing that I could be pregnant by somebody else, he was okay with the situation.
And at this point, you're testifying that you believed he was the father based upon.
Judge Lake asks the real question. If Kaylin knew there was another possible father, why agree to naming him DeMarcus Patterson Jr.? Kaylin says she was in love. They were together, and DeMarcus pushed for it. She rolled with it. And now here we are, 4 years later, trying to untangle a decision made on vibes instead of science.
In the hospital that whole day, had the baby. He didn't get to cut the umbilical cord because the doctor took it upon himself to cut it.
Yeah, he did.
But
do that.
that was it. When he had the baby, DeMarcus looked over, said, that's my baby. We ain't naming him no Christian. We naming him DeMarcus Patterson.
Did you say that?
That ain't exactly how it happened.
How'd it go?
When I looked the baby in the eyes, I was like, dang, he just completely just be quiet, just crying everything like he was at peace.
As DJ grows, tiny things start nagging at DeMarcus. He mentions features, ears, looks that don't line up, and suddenly that trashed DNA test starts haunting him. Kaylin admits she's brought up DNA before, but cost, confusion, and chaos got in the way. You can see DeMarcus's frustration boiling. I've been dad for 4 years and still don't have the truth? Heartbreaking stuff.
Ladarius Patterson Jr.,
Well,
you
know we gotta
definitely
leave
had
after
to
this.
agree to that. So you signed the birth certificate
Yes, Your Honor, I signed the birth certificate.
willingly.
Yes, Your Honor.
Without a doubt at that time, you went on and signed.
Yes, Your Honor. I mean, I was gonna do the DNA test.
Okay,
and I
right.
looked at him, and then that's when I threw the DNA test out the picture.
At that moment, DeMarcus said, that is my baby. His name is gonna be DeMarcus Ladarius Patterson Jr. And I don't care what y'all gotta say, and that's what it was.
But if you know the real truth.
Then comes the pettiness with purpose. DeMarcus claims he's bought things. Kaylin fires back that neither man is consistently helping like they should, and Judge Lake is not impressed with anybody. You can feel the courtroom energy shift. This isn't just about biology anymore. It's about responsibility, ego, and who's actually showing up for this little boy.
I solidly wanted it to be DeMarcus's baby.
Right, and in your young mind, this is how you clean up this whole mess. And so in the last 4 years, has Mr. Patterson been there for DeMarcus?
He's been there.
He has. Does DeMarcus Jr. call Patterson daddy?
And then, plot twist, Kaylin casually drops that Ladarius, other possible father, is not just some random guy. He's her godbrother, because his mom, Felicia Sigler, is Kaylin's godmother. The other possible father is literally family adjacent. You can see Judge Lake's eyebrows lift into another area code. Talk about messy.
Right. Now, so I look at
And
it
the
now,
conversation about DNA tests this is not the first time I brought it up. I done set appointments. No one wants to help me with half the payment.
I help with that. Now, it's just, I know you evil. If they say that I don't get to take my name off or have a DNA test, you'll put me on child support if you could.
Look, you know it's a possibility that you're the father, and Ladarius knows a possibility that's the father, and ain't none of y'all giving me nothing anyway, so you think you don't deserve to go
I bought
on
his
it?
first pair of sneakers. I buy him everything. You
I
can't
mean,
say
yeah, when I asked DeMarcus.
Felicia's brought in, and now we've got a whole village. Pictures are shown. Baby photos of Ladarius compared to DJ. Kaylin says that's when she really started thinking, oh, this might actually be his family. DeMarcus sees the picture too, and you can practically hear his stomach drop. I mean, just look at his face. That reaction says everything.
You gestured and said you decided to let Felicia, that is your witness here.
My godmom.
That's Mr. Sigler's mother.
Right.
So that's the other guy's mother.
Right.
And so you said Miss Sigler is your godmother.
Right.
So the other possible father is your god brother?
Right.
Oh.
Ladarius.
Kaylin explains that once that resemblance hit, she opened the door for Ladarius and his side of the family to be involved. Everybody's loving this kid. She calls it one big happy family. DeMarcus calls Cap instantly, and honestly, the tension between their versions, you could slice it.
That's
And you
DJ
submitted
family.
that picture to the court.
Right.
Let's take a look at that. This is a picture of Miss Sigler as a baby.
It's the other one. That didn't do much for me. The other one did.
And this is DeMarcus Jr.
Right. That's the one she sent me, and me and DeMarcus sat in the car and was like, that's DJ.
And when you saw those pictures,
That's
you
when
felt like...
when I really started letting him in DJ's life. That's when Mama came and got him.
Enter Ladarius Sigler. Judge Lake confirms he understands DJ has DeMarcus's last name, but might have his DNA. Ladarius says he truly believes he's the father. He reminds everyone he was the one who first told Kaylin she might be pregnant, took her to the clinic, and knew from early on there was a chance he's calm, but those eyes locked in.
They told me I got pregnant August 28th through the 2nd, or the 3rd of September. I was with DeMarcus August 28th, but by the 2nd of September, I was with Ladarius. So I didn't know. I honestly did not know.
So it was that soon after.
Don't act like it's crazy. You knew.
Before we go any further, I think it's time I hear from Mr. Sigler. Jerome, can you please escort Mr. Sigler into the courtroom?
Ladarius admits he wasn't at doctor's visits, wasn't there for the birth, but when he finally met DJ around 3 months old, he got attached fast. Now DJ knows both men. Ladarius doesn't want this boy growing up confused or resenting anyone. And honestly, the way he talks about DJ, you can feel it. This isn't casual.
Do you believe you are DeMarcus Jr.'s biological father?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
You do?
Yes, Your Honor.
Why do you believe that?
In the midst of me and Kaylin having dealings or intimacy, I was the one who told her she was pregnant. And when I told her she was pregnant, she said, well, if you feel like that, take me to the clinic. So I did. So when we got back from that situation, we had conflict. She like, it could possibly be his. It could possibly be yours.
Then comes the gut punch. Kaylin confirms DJ calls both men daddy. Judge Lake nearly levitates. 2 men, 1 child, 1 title. DeMarcus tries to play it cool, but admits it weighs on him. Kaylin throws in that no matter what, DeMarcus ain't going nowhere, which only makes the situation more intense. Can someone pass a manual for emotional damage?
And he was 3 months old when I first met DeMarcus. He was 3 months. So I did gang attachment to him as well, but I understood the situation. It come down to, is this baby? We want to know, he want to know, he need to know, we need to know. Before it get any farther, get out of hand.
Judge Lake steps in like the voice of reason we all need. She lays out the stakes. If DeMarcus isn't the biological father, his name is still on that birth certificate. If he is, then why is DJ calling another man daddy? If Ladarius is ruled out, those bonds still exist. Either way, DJ is tangled in adult decisions he never asked for drama overload, with real consequences.
The love that I have for him is the same love that he have for me. I know one thing about this young man. If don't nobody else love me, he gonna love me.
And so, Mr. Patterson, I have to ask you, how do you feel knowing that your son is calling another man daddy too?
With all emotions spilling, DeMarcus hurt, but standing strong, Ladarius hopeful, Kaylin defensive, but clearly overwhelmed, Judge Lake decides it's time she asks if they're ready for the results. Ladarius is so nervous, he says he'd rather step out than hear it if it's not what he hopes. You can feel every heartbeat in that room sync up, cue the drum roll.
With that said, I think it's time we get the results. Jerome, before I open this envelope, are you ready for this? Have you prepared yourself?
No, ma'am.
So you being honest, Mr. Sigler.
I'd rather step out.
You just really feel that strongly that you want the baby to be yours.
Yeah.
I won't make you wait any longer.
Judge Lake reaches for the envelope. DNA diagnostics. 2 men, 1 little boy, 1 life-changing answer. No jokes now. Everyone's face is locked in. DeMarcus is bracing. Ladarius is praying. Kaylin is stuck between them both.
In the case of Patterson versus Knight, pertaining to whether Mr. Patterson or Mr. Sigler is the biological father of 4-year-old DeMarcus Patterson Jr. It has been determined by this court. The biological father is Mr. Sigler.
You really shouldn't pull up to paternity court while grieving your brother and also fighting someone calling your family selfish, but that's exactly where Ms. Thompson is. After Kevin Harris's sudden death, she says Ms. Lee started harassing the family for benefits, and she's here to prove Kevin is not baby Neve's father. Ms. Lee, she's locked in at 100% he is. Tension activated immediately.
Ms. Thompson, you say that after your brother's sudden death just months ago, the defendant began harassing your family for financial benefits, and you are here to defend his honor by proving he is not the biological father of her 3-month-old daughter, Nevaeh. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Lee, you state the plaintiff's brother, Kevin Harris, is 100% your daughter's father, and say today's results will prove your case and clear your name. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Thompson testifies Kevin himself called Ms. Lee a money-hungry, compulsive liar and was certain Nevaeh wasn't his. She found photos of multiple women in his phone, including Ms. Lee, who claimed pregnancy. Kevin admitted they slept together, but flat out said, "That's not my baby." You can see Ms. Thompson isn't guessing. She's defending her brother like it's a mission.
Was a money-hungry, compulsive liar.
Really?
Yes.
What else did he tell you?
Well, he told me that basically she was just one of the ladies that he was sleeping with at the time, and she claimed to be pregnant by him.
But he did not believe that?
No.
How did you find out specifically about Ms. Lee?
When Judge Lake questions that certainty, Ms. Thompson explains Kevin believed Ms. Lee had been with someone else. That alone doesn't clear him, and Judge Lake points that out. Then Ms. Lee jumps in. Kevin was the liar. Kevin had multiple women, and his family is judging from the outside. She insists she and Kevin were very close. Closer than they'll ever understand. Talk about 2 completely different realities.
Like, what do you mean claims to be pregnant by you? Is she pregnant? He was like, yes, she's pregnant, but it's not my baby.
Did he tell you why he was so certain he was not the father?
He didn't believe he was the father just because of her reputation. I personally don't know, but this is what he has stated to me. You know,
what did he say about her reputation?
That she was with someone else.
Now, Ms. Lee gives her pregnancy story. She says Kevin picked her up from a hotel, they went to the house, they did what they did, she cleaned up and immediately threw up. She claims her body reacted and she just knew she was pregnant. Judge Lake's face is pure, be serious right now. I mean, just look at that reaction. Even the courtroom looks like they're trying not to laugh and cringe at the same time.
Oh yeah, you can go pick them up and ride around, do whatever you do, but not around me.
You were sleeping with him, right?
Right, and I know exactly what happened when we got pregnant, what day, all of that.
What happened? Tell me.
Okay, ma'am, he called me and I was hanging out with some friends at a hotel. He came and got me, we went to the house. We did what we did. After that, I cleaned up, and after I cleaned up.
Ms. Lee doubles down. She took 2 pregnancy tests the next day, both positive, and when she told Kevin, he instantly denied the baby. She blames his other women and image. Then, she claims a 6-year on and off relationship filled with promises and dreams. She keeps calling Judge Lake love out of habit, and Judge Lake very politely shuts that down. The vibe, chaotic situationship meets actual courtroom.
Are you suggesting that after unprotected sex, you instantly knew you were pregnant?
Yes, ma'am. I threw up because I was drinking, of course. I was kicking it with some friends.
You don't think you're throwing up from the liquor, you were throwing up because you were pregnant instantly.
Ms. Thompson is not having the fairy tale version. She blasts the idea of marriage, saying Kevin had at least 9 women and Ms. Lee wasn't even in the top 10. You can see Ms. Lee's pride flare up immediately. Then we snap into the real issue. Ms. Thompson explains their problem is not just the claim, it's the disrespect. And that's where things get dark, fast.
Already pregnant.
No, ma'am. And I
Your
got
Honor, this isn't the first time that she claimed to be pregnant by him. Also, this is his
that's
words.
a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. I ain't never. I don't want to be pregnant. You hear me? I ain't never walked around talking about. Look how little I am. Come on now.
All right, hold on.
Ms. Thompson shares that right after Kevin's death in a horrific car accident, while the family was shattered and trying to plan his funeral, Ms. Lee and another woman went to his house and started taking his belongings. Ms. Lee insists she only took what she bought and wanted something to remember him by. You could cut this tension with a knife. Grief and suspicion are colliding hard.
Listen, baby, we're so close. They don't even know.
Your Honor.
You hear me?
What was the nature of your relationship?
We were together for 6 years, love.
If you call me love one more time.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's a habit.
Trust me, I get it, but you got to break it now.
Yes, you are.
Okay, so you were together for 6 years.
Yes.
You weren't committed because you're saying he had other girls.
We were on up and downs, on and off.
Ms. Thompson says if Ms. Lee had come respectfully, they would have gladly given her something meaningful. Instead, that first encounter destroyed any trust Ms. Lee fires back that they never liked her. Both sides are locked in their versions, and Judge Lake has to keep dragging them back from yelling over each other, drama overload. But the pain behind it is real.
Anyone who knows my brother knows he wasn't even a marrying type. He was with a number of women, at least 9. At least 9. She wasn't even in the top 10. So no, you cannot sit here and say that. Your Honor, the only reason my family even have issues with Miss Lee is because of the constant disrespect to my family. It's been
What
constant
disrespect have I gave them?
Then comes the infamous entitled moment. Ms. Thompson testifies that after a benefit barbecue to raise money to bury Kevin, a family member got a call from Ms. Lee, allegedly asking, "When is the reading of the will? My baby's entitled to something." Ms. Lee shuts it down, says that's a lie, claims she only asked for Kevin's social security number so Neve could get benefits. One phrase, 2 stories, maximum side-eye.
And I got my belongings I bought him, which is the Jordans that I bought him for his birthday. A Jordan shirt,
Your Honor.
some Jordan
Your
socks,
Honor.
and the
But
rest
they
of
were
the stuff that I
all
bought.
Hold on.
Yeah.
You purchased it. If you purchased them, you purchased those items for
What
him.
happened?
You're
to
exactly
Thompson?
right, and he's dead and deceased, so I'm gonna take what I bought, of course.
We find out Ms. Lee later called another family member again for the social security number. The family sees that as suspicious. Ms. Lee sees it as survival. She tearfully explains she's struggling with no help. Not a diaper, not a thing from them. Judge Lake steps in with real talk. If this is Kevin's child, Ms. Lee must not let pride or mess stop Neve from getting what she needs.
The next day, I get up to start preparing to bury my little brother. And I get a phone call that Miss Lee and another one of his acquaintances went to his house and started collecting belongings that belonged to him. I did call her, found her, called her, asked her to return the things. She returned some of the things. It was just the principle, you know. It was a principle behind that, because if she would have came to us and just said, hey.
Ms. Thompson clarifies their stance beautifully. They fully support benefits, diapers, help, everything. But from day one, she's asked for one simple thing, a DNA test. Until then, don't call demanding money. Ms. Lee admits she was offended, insisting she wasn't the one creeping. Judge Lake explains calmly. Kevin told his family the child wasn't his and never presented Ms. Lee as a committed partner. Of course, they'd ask for proof.
You still don't know.
Exactly.
You think
I know nothing of you.
Exactly right.
So therefore, if she would have came to us in the proper way and asked for something, I promise you, she would have got something.
And so your family in that moment felt respect. And that the initial meeting, the introduction went wrong.
Exactly.
First impression was destroyed.
Exactly.
Ms. Lee still can't understand why Kevin never brought her up to them. Then we bring in Ms. Lee's mother, Ms. Ebony. She testifies Kevin was around constantly, that her daughter was crazy about him, and that Kevin himself spoke like he was the father, asking if she was ready to be a grandma. Just look at Ms. Thompson's face here. here. She's hearing a version of Kevin she never saw.
We're going to try to be present.
Well, Your Honor, rewind back to when we're planning for his services and whatnot. Of course, he didn't have life insurance. So we did a benefit barbecue in his honor, and we had a lot of people that we grew up with, friends, family, and whatnot come, and they donated so that we can bury my brother. And the day after the barbecue,
Ebony admits Kevin had multiple women, but insists her daughter named Kevin as the father from the start. She recalls Kevin touching Ms. Lee's stomach and acknowledging a grandbaby on the way. Ms. Thompson pushes back. Being affectionate doesn't prove paternity. The courtroom is split. One side has Kevin's words before he died, the other has Kevin's words to his family. Drama at its finest, folks.
Baby, that is a lie. I ain't said nothing about no will. For one, I know he didn't have no life. For one, y'all didn't have no throne. Y'all needed some money for a lot of stuff. You feel me?
So use your testimony that you did not do that.
No, ma'am.
She did.
What I did was call your mama and ask for a social security number, and she said no.
Okay, the day after the baby was born, she called another family member, not my mom.
Judge Lake turns to Ms. Thompson and asks what she truly hopes. Ms. Thompson says Neve is beautiful, and she would love for her to be her niece. But if that's true, Neve will grow up never knowing her father. That reality breaks her. She calls it bittersweet, and you can feel how much this isn't just a fight. It's about grief, legacy, and an innocent baby caught in the middle heart-wrenching moment.
I have not got no help. They ain't bought Neve.
Not a diaper.
You're right. And when you do,
milk,
you can
nothing.
keep it, baby.
Don't let your pride sacrifice an opportunity for your child.
Okay, you're right.
To get what she needs.
You're right.
If this is his biological child, don't let your pride block her blessing.
Amen.
Miss Lee, do you feel like maybe he didn't tell his family?
With both families' emotions laid bare, Judge Lake decides it's time to stop the back and forth and let the science talk. She calls Jerome for the envelope. They've tested his parents instead to see if Neve is biologically connected to Kevin's side of the family. The explanation is calm, clinical, but everyone's faces say panic. Cue the drum roll in your head.
If she needed diapers, you know, of course, we would get diapers. But we've asked day one. From the first time I met you, did I not ask for a DNA test? And then I said,
yes,
once we get a DNA test, then everything will fall into place. But you cannot call me and ask me for anything.
When you ask for the DNA test,
The courtroom goes silent as Judge Lake prepares to read. Ms. Lee stares straight ahead, barely blinking. Ms. Thompson is bracing, clutching onto her brother's words and her own doubts. Ms. Lee's mother leans in, ready to protect her child from whatever comes next. I mean, just look at those reactions. Every micro-expression is screaming, this is the moment everything flips, one way or the other.
Get everything, clear it all up.
were you
There's no
offended,
question.
Miss Lee, when they asked you for the DNA test, or were you
You're
understanding?
exactly right.
You
because
were offended.
For one, look at her. And not only that, I don't have to get no DNA test when I wasn't the one creeping and sleeping around with other people.
He wasn't creeping.
But I need you to understand, if he never told them he was your boyfriend or you were committed to him.
Judge Lake opens the results and begins reading the formal language about the grandparent DNA comparison. No jokes now, even she looks tense. She emphasizes how important this is, not just for these women arguing in open court, but for Neve's entire future. You can feel it. This isn't just tea, it's a life blueprint being unfolded in real time.
And we met Kevin Harris about 6 years ago. He was my neighbor in Carverdale. He was a nice guy to the neighborhood that I thought he'd do a lot of things for the kids and things like that. But he do have multiple women. So I do understand why she's up here saying that. I'm not going to deny it.
When your daughter told you she was pregnant, did she tell you who the father was?
We were all in my garage. Kevin Harris said, do you want to be a grandma?
The result lands. The instant Judge Lake reads it, the energy in that courtroom explodes. One side is hit with reality. The other is forced to confront everything they said leading up to this. Judge Lake immediately checks the attitudes, reminding everyone this is an important moment for the baby, not a victory lap for the adults. Talk about a spiritual seatbelt.
In the case of Thompson versus Lee, when it comes to 3-month-old Nevaeh Harris, it has been determined by this court Nevaeh Harris is related to Miss Thompson. That is your brother's child.
It's okay for you. You still don't need him, baby. You don't need him. Pick up that face over there.
Now, this is one of those paternity court stories that hits you right in the heart before the drama even kicks in. Ms. Cleo Tucker walks in claiming that her 1-year-old son, Keandre, belongs to a man who isn't even alive to defend himself. The alleged father, Eric Andrews, passed away last year, and sitting across from her is his mother, Ms. Mosley, who says she's never even heard of this woman. Oh, it's about to get emotional and explosive.
Ms. Tucker.
Yes, Your Honor.
You're here today for your son, 1-year-old Keandre Tucker.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, you say you're unsure whether a man you've been in a sexual relationship with or the defendant's deceased son is his biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Judge Lake lays out the stakes. Cleo's not just asking for answers, she's also suing for $3,800 in Social Security benefits. Ms. Mosley looks like she can't believe what she's hearing. She's grieving her son and now dealing with a woman who popped up after his death saying, "Hey, your son's my baby's daddy." You can feel the tension radiating from that bench.
You're also suing Ms. Mosley for $3,800 in Social Security benefits.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Ms. Mosley, you tragically lost your son, Eric, a little over a year ago.
Yes,
I'm
Your
so
Honor.
sorry. And now you say you've barely had time to grieve, and Ms. Tucker is coming after you for money.
Yes, Your Honor.
Cleo gets straight to the point. She admits she was seeing Eric casually while still with her boyfriend. Yup, she was messing around, in her words, with 2 men at the same time, but she swears the timing adds up for Eric. She even brought a calendar with color-coded dates of her, romantic schedule. Talk about coming prepared.
Ms. Tucker.
Yes.
Please take me back to this relationship. Why is it you are so certain that Ms. Mosley's deceased son is your child's father?
Well, from the time that me and Mr. Andrews was together, it wasn't on no relationship type. It was just that we was just messing around. When I met him, I did have a boyfriend, so, you know what I'm saying, I was sleeping with 2 people at the same time, but it was more frequent with Mr. Andrews.
She points to February 6th, her best friend's birthday, as the day she met Eric. From that day until Valentine's week, she says they were seeing each other almost daily. Then she found out she was pregnant on March 16th. 5 weeks, going on 6, she says. Judge Lake's eyebrows say exactly what we're all thinking. That's some detailed record keeping.
On March the 16th, I went and found out I was pregnant, 5 weeks, going on 6 weeks.
So in blue is when you discovered you're pregnant?
Yes, Your Honor.
So the 6th is when you started being intimate with Mr. Andrews?
Yes, Your Honor.
When asked about her relationship, Cleo admits she didn't use protection with either man. Ms. Mosley sighs so hard you can practically hear the heartbreak. This is her late son's name being tossed into a love triangle from beyond the grave. You can tell she wants to believe her son wasn't lying, but she's also protecting her peace.
The other guy as well, without using protection?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Mosley, is there any possibility, any at all, that your son could be the biological father?
Your Honor, I'm here today for answers. I tragically lost my son, my best friend. I wear him on my heart.
Ms. Mosley finally speaks, voice trembling but steady. She says she never heard Eric mention Cleo. Her son had 4 other kids, and he told her about each one proudly. Who is Cleo Tucker? She says, genuinely confused. Judge Lake nods, gently pointing out, if he told you about all his other children, why hide this one? The room falls silent.
You also have to contend with this petition. It could be tough, and yet at the same time, if in fact little Keandre is your son's biological child, that would be a grandson for you as a part of your son's legacy. So please just tell me briefly, why do you have doubts?
Then Cleo drops a twist. She says Eric did check in on her during the pregnancy, calling her mother's phone, asking for ultrasound photos, but she ignored him because she was angry. Angry that he wasn't doing more, angry at the situation, angry at herself. It's messy, it's emotional, and for a moment, you actually feel for both women.
And so it's your feeling that my son has been honest with me about so many things, including other children he's fathered. How could you not know anything about Miss Tucker?
Yes, Your Honor.
And so that confirms maybe that your son had the doubt and you have the doubt as well.
Yes, exactly.
So Miss Tucker,
Ms. Mosley explains she found out about Cleo through Eric's friend. He called and said, "Aunt Vonda, Cleo's having Eric's baby." Ms. Mosley says she called her son in jail and confronted him, and his response? "Mom, she's wild. She's a stripper." The audience collectively gasps. Judge Lake calmly points out that doesn't mean she couldn't be pregnant with his child. Touché, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Mosley, did he tell you anything?
Your Honor, my son told me nothing. I found out of Miss Cleo Tucker's pregnancy through his friend. His friends called me Auntie Vonda. And he said, "Auntie Vonda, you know Cleo is about to give birth to Eric's child."
Cleo defends herself, saying Eric might have thought she was wild, but he was the one coming over every night. Day in, day out, they were together, and she insists he's the father. Judge Lake keeps her composure, but her face says, "Ma'am, I've heard this story 15 times this week." Still, she gives her space to tell it all.
Send me some ultrasound pictures, but I ignored him because I'm upset. And it wasn't nothing, reason why I feel like he probably didn't go back and tell his mom about it is because it wasn't no real relationship thing. It was just like I stepped out on my boyfriend to be with Mr. Andrews. I made a mistake, that was true. But he did check on me. He actually wanted to be a part of it, but I was so upset with him that I just shut him out completely.
Ms. Mosley softens when she starts describing her son's excitement over his other children, the hospital visits, the baby photos, the tears it's touching. She clearly loved her son deeply, but she keeps circling back to the same question. Why didn't he ever tell me about this baby? And you can't help but wonder the same thing.
When he called, I got on him. I was like, "Eric, what's going on? Are you about to have another child?" And he said, "Mom, she is wild. She's a stripper. She performs private."
Then Cleo flips the mirror. She says Eric lied to her too, told her he had 1 kid, then 2, but she found out at his funeral that he had 4, the posthumous revelations. She says she was pregnant at the same time as another woman. "Our babies are 6 months apart," she explains. Judge Lake just blinks slowly. This man had a full-time job in reproduction.
But if he sleeps with her without protecting himself, there is still a possibility that he can father a child.
Your Honor.
So, Ms. Tucker, you admitted there was one other guy, but now Mr. Andrews has told his mother that you are kind of living a lifestyle a little out there.
Cleo confesses she went through her pregnancy alone. No one came to doctor's appointments, no one showed up for the birth, no one on the birth certificate. Ms. Mosley nods sadly. She says, "That's why I'm here. I just want answers." You can feel the pain of a mother who lost her child and now might gain or lose a grandchild in one sentence.
Then just that other guy, your
No, it was just
boyfriend.
them two.
Just those two. So, Ms. Mosley, did your son talk to you about any of his other children?
Yes, let me tell you. His first child, he was so excited. He came home, he said, "Mom, I'm about to have my first child."
When Cleo says Eric took 3 weeks to visit the newborn, Ms. Mosley cuts her off, saying she's here for money, not love. Shots fired. She claims Cleo is just trying to get a check. Cleo fires right back, saying, "I've been taking care of my child alone. I don't need your money. I need the truth." Judge Lake raises her hand like, "We are not doing this today."
But again, who is Miss Cleo Tucker? Why is it that I never heard of Cleo Tucker?
Why do you think this is, Miss Tucker?
Well, honestly, we both been lied to because the kids that she just pointed out to you, he didn't even tell me about them kids. I found out about them at the funeral.
Ms. Mosley pulls out Instagram photos of Eric and the baby, side by side. "I'm not sure," she says, voice breaking, "but I do see a resemblance." That moment, pure heartbreak. The judge asks if Cleo ever posted the baby next to her other possible father. Cleo says no. "I just know in my heart, it's Eric's." Cue the tension, cue the sniffles.
You shut the other guy out too. You didn't let him come to doctor's appointments. He wasn't there for the birth.
He would call just like Mr. Andrews would. I'm like, "Hey, you know what I'm saying? Let me come with you. Let me come to the doctor's appointments with you. Let me see your ultrasounds. I want to be a part of this too." But I was too stuck in my feelings, and I was like,
you were angry and upset and hurt. So at the birth, nobody. No one's on little Keandre's birth certificate as father?
No, Your Honor.
Cleo then shows her budget, how much she spends each month on her baby. $400 in diapers, clothes, food, daycare. She's asking for half, $200 a month for 19 months, $3,800 total. Judge Lake nods, but gently explains, Ms. Mosley doesn't owe a dime until paternity is proven. Fair and firm, as always.
Sending him no money, writing him, but at the same time, he has to understand I'm here pregnant with a child. I have to prepare this future for me and my baby. I don't have time to be sitting here trying to take care of you when you in jail when nobody's helping me with my baby. That's why he denied my child, because I didn't help.
Miss Mosley, why do you think Miss Tucker is bringing you to court?
For the money.
Then, Judge Lake takes a breath and reminds both women what's at stake. If this baby isn't her grandson, she says softly, and she opens her heart to him anyway, that's another loss for her. You can feel the empathy both women are holding back tears. It's no longer about money, it's about closure.
And I'm not even sure if he is his son.
Let me see that. Jerome, will you hand me that evidence, please?
And she's not the first one to come forth claiming that her child is my son. There was another girl that claimed that her son was his. We had the DNA and found out he was not his.
Finally, Jerome delivers the envelope. The lies, the timelines, the accusations. It's all on the table now. Everyone in the courtroom is on edge as the judge prepares the envelope. Only one piece of evidence can end the shouting and finger-pointing. The DNA results will reveal the truth once and for all. Who's the real father, and who will have the last laugh?
Of your baby and the other possible father as well?
No, Your Honor, I did not.
And why did you make that choice?
Well, honestly, when Keandre started getting older, I started seeing more of Eric in him. And just like the calendar I handed to you, it made more sense to me. And I was like, this got to be this man's child. It has to be. And I just want to comment on what she said, like coming after her for money. It's just not even all about that. Like, I've been taking care of my child. Even when her son was here, he wasn't trying to help me.
Cleo breaks down. I was right, she whispers through tears. Ms. Mosley exhales and smiles for the first time all day. I still have a piece of him, she says. That one line hits everyone in the chest. Judge Lake smiles warmly. Now that's a legacy.
A month just
Jerome,
because.
can I have that, please?
On Pampers, diapers, and everything, and I do this by myself. And I feel like, okay, you his mama, so can I get some type of help? He's not here no more.
So you have a breakdown of monthly expenses, baby formula, clothes, childcare, totaling $400 per month.
And that's just of half, and I think that's only fair.
Afterward, Ms. Mosley meets baby Keandre in chambers. The moment she sees him, she tears up. He looks just like my son, she says, holding him close. Judge Lake nods with that calm, gentle smile. It's not just closure, it's healing. From grief to love, in less than an hour, only on Paternity Court.
In the case of Tucker v. Mosley, when it comes to one-year-old Keandre, and whether Ms. Mosley's deceased son, Eric Andrews, is the father, it has been determined that Mr. Andrews is the biological father.
The breaking point arrived in Judge Lauren's courtroom when Ms. Whalen stepped forward. She claimed that Mr. LeBlanc was the father of her child, a claim that threatened to tear his family apart. Mrs. LeBlanc, already on edge, declared she would leave her marriage if it proved true. With shame on his face, Mr. LeBlanc sat silently, hoping against hope that the test would spare him. Will that be the case?
Ms. Whalen, you admit you've been in a sexual relationship with Mr. LeBlanc, a married man, and claim he is the father of your 2-year-old son, Vincent Whalen. Mr. LeBlanc, you are determined to prove that you are not the father of Miss Whalen's son in hopes of saving your marriage.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. LeBlanc says that when he first learned of Ms. Whalen's pregnancy, he was stunned. What terrified him most was how to tell his wife Judge Lauren scolded him, reminding him that he should have thought of the consequences before breaking his vows. Mrs. LeBlanc agreed and added a sharp remark to cut him further. Then she revealed the damning text her husband had sent. "I can't believe I did this to you again." The entire courtroom gasped.
My menstruation, so he went out and got some pregnancy tests, asked me to take them. He sat on side my bed holding his head
When I took the first one, I gave it to him and it showed that I was pregnant. He asked me to take another one because he was in disbelief about the first one, so I took another one, and he still sat there and said, oh man, this can't be true, this can't be true. You can't be pregnant.
The judge leaned in, questioning the word again. Mrs. LeBlanc says that this was not the first time. There was another child, just 3 years old, born out of the same betrayal. When asked who the mother was, Ms. Whalen admitted it was her. Shock spread through the courtroom as Mr. LeBlanc confessed it was all true. His fear of telling his wife came from hiding this first child. This is certainly not something you see every day.
The word I'm hearing is again.
Right, again, like over.
So wait a minute, there was another time?
Yes, ma'am. Prior to Vincent, there was Jaden.
Who's the mother of that child?
I am. That's my 3-year-old.
Mr. LeBlanc, really?
Unfortunately, yes, sir.
Mr. LeBlanc defended himself, saying he returned to Ms. Whalen whenever his wife forced him out of the house. Mrs. LeBlanc fired back, claiming he went back because Ms. Whalen was always available. Ms. Whalen shot back angrily, accusing Mrs. LeBlanc of taking him back despite everything. Mrs. LeBlanc says she did it because of love. The heated exchange boiled over until the judge slammed her gavel to restore order.
You know how you see a welcome mat, and you can walk over it. He knew he could do that over there.
But let me explain this.
He kept getting put out over here because he couldn't do what he wanted.
Let me explain this, Your Honor.
Over there, he knew he could do what he wanted to do.
You keep
taking him back.
I refuse.
That's my husband. That's called love. Feelings you can put in your pocket and throw away.
That much love.
Feelings you can put in your pocket. You can throw them on the ground, step on them.
Mr. LeBlanc then added that rumors clouded the paternity of this second child. He says Ms. Whalen's neighbor confronted him about being with her, casting doubt over Vincent's fatherhood. The judge dismissed the claim, calling it irrelevant. Mrs. LeBlanc, however, declared she didn't believe the child was her husband's. She said Ms. Whalen's promiscuity left too much uncertainty in the air. How about that?
Ms. Whalen had slept with the neighbor. I was confronted at one time by a guy who pulled up on me in a pickup truck. He was like, oh, you know who I am? I was like, nah, who are you?
What? Did you get any information that she was sleeping with somebody?
There was rumors going around that she had slept with this guy.
Okay, so let's get to the point. Him riding up on you and saying hi don't have nothing to do with Vincent's paternity.
Mrs. LeBlanc finally broke down her position. If Vincent turned out to be her husband's son, the marriage would end. She says she has reached her breaking point, and even with 2 children of her own, she would not remain in this cycle. The pain, the betrayal, was too much. Mr. LeBlanc says he understands, but insists his denial of paternity wasn't about his wife's threats. It was about his own doubts. We shall see.
Is over? You're finally done?
I'm at my breaking point. This is it. Michael Jackson, this is it.
So you say you're at your breaking point. Why, ma'am?
I'm at the breaking point. I mean, it's getting overwhelming.
You all have children together as well, am I correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Whalen says that there might be a possibility Mr. LeBlanc wasn't Vincent's father. She says she hadn't been fully committed to him at the time Judge Lauren told Mr. LeBlanc that his concerns were valid now that this doubt existed. Ms. Whalen says that despite this, she had never told another man that he might be the father. Does that change anything?
Is there a possible...
It might be. I might have had a moment. I wasn't committed to this man, nor was I married to this man. So yeah, I might have had a moment.
Well, go ahead and tell the truth then, because that's why we're here. So now we have the truth, that there potentially could be another father.
Ms. Whalen brought her grandmother, Ms. Bird, to the witness stand. Ms. Bird testified that she believes Mr. LeBlanc was the father because he had been living with her granddaughter during the pregnancy. She recalled him even explaining to her why he was staying there. She added with a biting remark that every time he lived with her granddaughter, a baby seemed to appear wonderful.
You believe Mr. LeBlanc is Vincent's biological father?
Yes, ma'am.
Why is that, ma'am?
Well, for one thing, I know he was living with her at the time. He came to me and a family member and told us while he was staying there, all Kim want to do is fuss, fight, and F. The 3 Fs.
Ms. Bird says she was hearing for the first time about any other possible father. Shocked, she lashed out, calling her granddaughter a sneaky little hoe if it turned out true. Ouch. She didn't stop there, turning her insults on Mrs. LeBlanc, calling her promiscuous as well. The judge quickly cut her off, scolding her for the outburst. But even with the chaos, everyone knew only the DNA test could settle the matter. Brace up, because here are the results.
Case of Whalen versus LeBlanc. When it comes to 23-month-old Vincent Whalen, it has been determined by this court, Mr. LeBlanc, you are the father.
Ms. Moody walked into Judge Lauren's courtroom torn between heartbreak and hope, desperate to keep her family together. She insists Mr. Brackens is the father of her child. Even though she admits to having an affair, Mr. Brackens, on the other hand, doubts the child is his, but says he's open to rebuilding their relationship. If the DNA test proves him wrong, will the truth bring them closer or tear them apart for good?
Ms. Moody, you have petitioned the court for a DNA test to prove that the defendant is the father of your 2-year-old daughter, Raylan. You hope these results will save your family. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Brackens, you say the plaintiff admitted to sleeping with another man, and your doubt is overwhelming. But if the DNA results shock you, you'd consider staying together. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Taking the stand, Ms. Moody accepted full blame for the damage in her relationship with Mr. Brackens. They were childhood sweethearts who drifted apart after high school, only to reconnect years later through social media. She fell hard for him, but her loneliness pushed her into another man's arms. How convenient. She says she craved physical closeness and attention she couldn't resist.
We have something beautiful, and I just really need to prove to him that Raylan is his daughter.
And so this is destroying your relationship.
It is.
Mr. Brackens, this is destroying your relationship?
Yes, Your Honor.
For 3 to 4 months, Ms. Moody was involved with the other man, continuing the fling even after Mr. Brackens returned to town. The courtroom buzzed in disbelief. Mr. Brackens thought he was in an exclusive relationship, only to be blindsided. Ms. Moody defended her actions, saying she was juggling 2 lives because of the rush she got from both. What an odd thing to say in court.
Anthony and I grew up together, went to school together. We've known each other for a very long time. After graduating high school, we lost, we went our separate ways. He went to school, I went to school. And when we caught back up, Anthony was away, he was out of town for a while. And we were contacting each other over social media. And just through social media messages and conversations, I was literally head over heels for him off top. I fell in love with this man.
She admitted it was difficult to end things with the other man because she had feelings for him too. Mr. Brackens says he learned of the affair from a family member who bluntly told him he wasn't the only one in her life. The judge looked stunned. Mr. Brackens confronted Ms. Moody, forcing her to choose between him and the other man.
4 months, I was entertaining this other man. When Mr. Brackens came back in town, I continued to entertain this other man for several weeks.
Mr. Brackens, did you have any idea this was going on?
Your Honor, the whole time I was away, it felt like we were in a committed relationship. It felt like we was one-on-one together the whole time we were together.
Ms. Moody says she instantly chose Mr. Brackens, cutting ties emotionally with the other man, but she struggled to break the news to him since he didn't even know Mr. Brackens existed. When the judge asked if she was intimate with both men at the same time, Ms. Moody admitted she would spend nights with Mr. Brackens and her days with the other man. Gasps echoed through the courtroom. What a shocker.
Very hard for me to tell the other guy because I can't lie. I had caught feelings there too. There was a sexual relationship. I had caught feelings there too.
So wait, how did you even find out, Mr. Brackens?
Your Honor, I found out through a family member.
What happened?
He was like, hey man, I need to let you know that you're not the only person. There's someone else involved as well.
Really?
So that's when I took it as far as, hey, it's either gonna be me or him. You're gonna have to choose.
So just a week and a half after ending things with the other man, Ms. Moody discovered she was pregnant, sending another shockwave through the courtroom. Everyone gasped. The judge sighed, saying the doubt was undeniable. Ms. Moody agreed. She says Mr. Brackens took her in despite her baggage and made sure she was cared for. Mr. Brackens' eyes welled up with tears. What a good man.
Response was automatically him. There was no question about it. The other guy's feelings, they went out the window. And that's what I had been so worried about for the weeks before. I wanted to kind of lay it down smoothly on him because he had no clue about Mr. Brackens. For the 4 months.
Okay, but for the purposes of this courtroom, we need to understand this specific question.
Ms. Moody revealed this wasn't the first time she had faced such uncertainty. She already had a 3-year-old child. Mr. Brackens admits that when he learned of her pregnancy, he immediately wondered if the other man could be the father. He decided to step up anyway, but deep down, he feared he was raising another man's child. Who could blame him?
I have a 3-year-old child as well.
So, Mr. Brackens, take me to the day you found out Ms. Moody was pregnant.
I kind of had an idea she was taking the pregnancy test and such. She went in my bathroom, took the pregnancy test. I busted in on her. She tells me it's positive, she's pregnant.
After the baby was born, Ms. Moody says the other man began hinting that the child resembled his other kids. With 3 children of his own, he believed he was the father and even asked for a DNA test. Ms. Moody refused, terrified of the truth. Mr. Brackens then dropped a bombshell, saying he knew the other man personally. They had grown up together. Good heavens. The whole courtroom froze in shock.
That baby looks so much like my youngest baby. He has 3 children of his own, and he was trying to compare my child to his.
So the other man saw pictures of Raylan?
Yes, Your Honor, he did.
And he said that baby looks like some of my other children.
He did.
Mr. Brackens says he was the one who signed the baby's birth certificate and that it would be hard for him to let the other man be part of the child's life. Ms. Moody tearfully says she hopes he wouldn't walk away, no matter what the results revealed. With her eyes filled with tears, she called Mr. Brackens a better father than the other man ever was. Only the DNA results could end their agony. The results? Well, here they come.
In the case of Moody versus Brackens, as it pertains to 2-year-old Raylan Brackens, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Brackens, you are her father.
We start off with fireworks. Judge Lauren announces that 2 brothers dragged their mother to court because she admitted she slept with their dad and their uncle. Yes, you heard that right. Mama was out here causing generational confusion. The sons are trying to figure out who their real father is, and Ms. Shivers admits she's been hiding the truth for decades.
You may be seated.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello.
This is a case of Ellis versus Shivers and McClellan.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Mr. Ellis, you and your brother have brought your mother to court today because you say you've always believed the man in this photograph is your father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Then, just recently, you learned that your biological father may actually be your father's brother.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mrs. Shivers, you confessed that you slept with both your ex-husband and his brother.
Eugene explains how he found out. At a family gathering, Uncle Ronnie got a little too tipsy and blurted out, "You know I'm your dad, right? I mean, imagine sipping your drink and suddenly hearing your uncle call you son. Talk about awkward family reunions."
Yes, Your Honor. We were at a family gathering, just having some drinks or whatever, and Uncle Ronnie came up to me and said, I'm your son. You my son, right? So
it was basically like a family get-together. It was a family function. You know how people get when they, indulge or whatnot. I guess he overindulged and the truth came to light.
Arthur admits he always felt different growing up. Their supposed father treated Eugene better, writing him letters in jail, sending money, while barely acknowledging Arthur. He says straight up, "That made me feel some type of way." Can anyone else feel the sting in his voice?
He didn't even write me that much when I was in jail, but he wrote him, send him money, so that made me feel some type of way as well,
Unfortunately, we had to take a trip down the road, and my father, he wrote me more than he did my brother, you know what I'm saying? And you don't do that if that's your child, you're supposed to be there through thick and thin like my mom,
Eugene defends his mom, saying she did everything to raise them. But then Ms. Shivers throws another bomb. She says she was married before, and there's a chance Eugene also has a different dad. Eugene looks like the floor just got ripped from under him.
Not necessarily.
Well, Your Honor, I was married to another man before I left and went to Detroit, and that's when I got pregnant with Eugene, so.
Do you feel there are reasonable, credible doubts as it relates to Eugene as well?
Yes, Your Honor, maybe so. Well, you want to hear it? I'm going to tell you.
You ain't never said that before.
Well,
and I asked you who's my dad.
John Ellis.
You said John Ellis. So now it's a
There he
possibility somebody else might be my dad.
Well, you got tested, son. We're going to bring it out. We'll bring it all out. I'm telling the truth, so let's bring it on out. Whatever my babies want to know, I'll let you know.
Even Judge Lauren can't believe it. She makes sure everyone's clear. Eugene might have a different father. Arthur might have a different father. And now Mom is admitting she was shifted from one man to another. This is drama overload.
Well, not
Until
even
this
a
very
possibility
moment?
until right now. Not even a possibility somebody else could be my father.
Ms. Shivers, I want to make sure we're clear. You're now stating that you had been in a relationship before you got to Detroit, so you were in a relationship with both men in close proximity, and therefore there could be a doubt as it relates to Eugene's paternity as well.
Arthur then shares how his uncle would call him on his birthday and literally say, "I don't know if I'm talking to my son or my nephew, but happy birthday." Who says that? The entire courtroom bursts into nervous laughter as Judge Lauren shakes her head.
But yeah, Judge, my Uncle Ronnie, he's called me on my birthday, and he said, I don't know who I'm talking to, my son, or my nephew, one of you. Happy birthday, so.
And that's the way he said happy birthday?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm talking to my son or my nephew, but happy birthday.
Yes, Your Honor.
When Uncle Ronnie, aka Uncle Daddy, takes the stand, he admits he could be Arthur's father. He even jokes that when Ms. Shivers said they slept together once, she must have meant once sober. Judge Lauren nearly faints from secondhand embarrassment.
Do you agree with this? Is this your understanding that you could potentially be this young man's biological father?
Yes.
It is?
Yes.
Please take me back. How did you come to know or realize that this young man could be your biological child?
Just when you think it can't get messier, Ms. Shivers brings up another potential father, a man named Cool Breeze. Yes, you heard that correctly. Apparently, Cool Breeze was an older man she was involved with while also relying on him for jobs and support. Eugene is floored. He says, "I never heard this story before."
I met him when I was waitressing in the restaurant, and he ran a big hotel. And he also, gave me jobs and stuff. That's when Eugene was like about 4 or 5. We had a couple of little nights, where we had a few drinks, and we did have intimacy. He died, it might be a possibility, because when I was staying at Mama Mildred's with Ronnie and everybody, I went and supplied food and did whatever, right, Ronnie?
At this point, Judge Lauren is exhausted. She says it's not just one paternity issue, it's many paternity issues. Meanwhile, Eugene gets emotional, saying all he wants is for him and his brother to share the same dad so they can stop fighting. That's the most heartfelt moment so far.
Case earlier today, that's not the case. Am I right, Jerome?
You're correct.
Children come in all shapes, sizes, and colors. Ultimately, what brings us here today is a paternity issue, many paternity issues.
Yes, Your Honor. That's why I want these babies to say whatever they need to say.
I need us to have the same dad.
Well, they're going to show you guys got the same father.
You say you need
you
and your brother to have the same dad? I see you're emotional. What are you feeling? You say you need that.
Despite all the chaos, Eugene reminds his mom he loves her. He proudly says, "I'm happy with who I am. I love my kids, I love myself, and nothing changes that." You can feel the weight of years of pain and confusion in his voice.
You don't understand, Eugene.
We want the truth.
Back in the 70s, it was a nightmare to go through, son.
Regardless of whatever, I just want you to know, Mom, I'm proud to be a half-breed man. You hear me? I'm proud.
Thank you, son.
I love it. I wouldn't be black, I wouldn't be white. I'd be exactly what I am today, and I love it. My kids is bright just like me, and I love it. I wouldn't have it no other way. I love you.
Finally, it's results time. Judge Lauren opens the first envelope for Eugene. The tension is high, but Eugene knows this is his fate. Could this be good news or ad news? Let's find out. Here are the results.
In the case of Eugene Ellis v. Shivers McClellan, pertaining to whether John Ellis is your biological father, it has been determined by this court, John Ellis is your father.
Then comes Arthur's turn. Judge Lauren reads the results slowly. The room is dead silent. Everyone is trying to guess what she is going to say, but in the end, they all have to wait for Judge Lake to read the results. Well, here they come.
In the case of Arthur Ellis v. Shivers McClellan, pertaining to whether John Ellis or his brother Ronald McClellan is your biological father, it has been determined by John Ellis is your father.
The brothers hug, their mother weeps, and Judge Lauren ends it on the perfect note. You have the truth now. You're brothers through and through, so stop fighting and get along. For the first time in decades, this family finally has answers.
Okay.
So gentlemen, you have the truth. This is the truth you wanted.
Yeah, I knew it.
You brothers by your mother and your father. Now you got the same mother and the father. What you gonna do now?
Doubt begins small, but once it takes root, it grows unchecked until truth brings it to an end. Ms. Jackson first told Mr. Taylor he wasn't the father, then changed her story. Now, the other man, Mr. Green, sits in the courtroom watching it all unfold. The tension is thick, trust is gone, suspicion is everywhere. The question is simple: who will walk away vindicated, and who will be humiliated?
Mr. Taylor, you say your fiancée, Ms. Jackson, dropped a bombshell on you when she was 9 months pregnant and told you that you may not be her child's father.
Yes, Your Honor.
She later changed her mind and said you are Raymond's father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Florida was supposed to be a fresh start for the couple and their kids, but it's where Ms. Jackson met Mr. Green and began a sexual relationship. She says Mr. Taylor abandoned them to chase his dreams far away. Mr. Taylor admits leaving, but insists it was for a job opportunity in Atlanta. Both are pointing fingers, but only one version can be true.
I've been there since day one, raising this kid, fathering the kid, clothing the kid. I do everything for this child. And the only thing that I do know is that if this child ain't mine, I'll be walking out this courtroom today a single man.
You all are engaged. You have a family together.
Mr. Taylor says he left to rescue his family from life in a shelter. Ms. Jackson claims she had no idea he was in Atlanta for 2 days. She says she called and texted, but never got a reply. When Mr. Taylor explained his move was to better their lives, applause broke out. Ms. Jackson sat stone-faced, refusing to believe a word of it.
I met Mr. Green in a shelter, and we ended up becoming intimate, but Mr. Taylor left me and my children stranded in Florida while he went away to, I guess, chase his dreams. Knowing that we had nobody and knowing that we had nothing.
Ms. Jackson says during his absence, he never sent money or checked in. She claims Mr. Green stepped in, offering emotional and practical support. The judge asks how long she waited before turning to Mr. Green. She starts to say a few weeks, but is cut off by Mr. Taylor's shout. 3 days, 3 days, he yells, shaking the courtroom.
I couldn't do nothing there because it wasn't no job opportunities in Orlando. It was one in Atlanta, so I went for it. I tried to get in contact with her. When she was there, she was at a youth shelter. She was at a youth shelter, and at the youth shelter,
he didn't try to get in contact with me.
At the youth shelter,
I tried to get in contact with him. I didn't even know that he was in Atlanta for 2 days. I was blowing his phone up.
Mr. Taylor, visibly furious, says he left to save their children from being taken. Ms. Jackson insists he never planned on coming back for them. She says she tried for 2 days straight to contact him without success. He fires back, calling it a lie and denying ignoring her messages. Their stories are clashing, and neither is backing down.
This supposed job opportunity that he had, during this job opportunity, he never sent me or the kids any money. We barely had any contact with him. There was no one for me to turn to but Mr. Green. He was the person there for me, giving me emotional support, you know? That was what I needed.
Ms. Jackson calls her relationship with Mr. Green a rebound. She says they bonded because both were going through heartbreak, but she blames Mr. Taylor for leaving, saying he pushed her into it. Mr. Taylor argues that trying to improve the family is no excuse for cheating. The moral battle is now just as important as the DNA test.
When he left, he says he left to get the job, and he said he tried to call you. Do you believe he just left and never called? Is that what you believe?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm certain that he did. I received.
Then comes the timeline revelation from Mr. Taylor himself. He says he left on September 14th and she got pregnant on October 12th. That's only 1 week after he left. When you count the conception window, it's a calculated blow to Ms. Jackson's credibility in the courtroom. Gasps ripple through the audience as the math sinks in.
Boyfriend and girlfriend?
Yeah,
or
we
you
wiped
just
up,
having
boyfriend and
a
girlfriend.
sexual relationship?
It was a rebound thing, Your Honor. It was a rebound. He was going through a situation with the mother of his child, and I was going through a similar situation with Mr. Taylor, and we connected on that level.
Mr. Green finally takes the stand to give his side of the story. He says Ms. Jackson told him Mr. Taylor left to chase a rap career. They vibed, and things quickly turned physical between them. When he got his own place, he let her and the kids move in with him. He admits he saw her texting Mr. Taylor often, but didn't care.
We'll be exposed
You're
today.
technically not together. You don't
We
have
is
to
together.
say we're
saying-
broke up for us to be done.
So you saying if
leave-
your husband leave out of state for a job opportunity, y'all single? September 14th, she was pregnant on October 12th. Now you tell me, you know how long it takes to conceive a child, right? You know how long it takes afterwards to find out that you're pregnant. It takes a minimum of 3 weeks.
The lies, the timelines, the accusations, it's all on the table now. Everyone in the courtroom is on edge as the judge prepares the envelope. Only one piece of evidence can end the shouting and finger-pointing. The DNA results will reveal the truth once and for all. Who's the real father, and who will have the last laugh?
In the case of Taylor versus Jackson, when it comes to 3-year-old Raymond Taylor, as to whether his biological father is Mr. Taylor or Mr. Green, it has been determined by this court. His biological father is Mr. Green.
Ms. Lewis, you say you're here to demand the defendant finally take responsibility because though he denies it, he is indeed the biological father of both your children.
Yes, Your Honor.
Like the saying goes, fake it till you make it. But in the case of Mr. Pippin, he's being accused by Miss Lewis of faking the DNA results for her child, a cheap and fraudulent way to avoid paying child support. Mr. Pippin, who is present in the courtroom alongside his current girlfriend, Ms. Sander, is adamant he's not the father because Ms. Lewis is a cheater and a liar. Which party will come out on top? Will Ms. Lewis finally get what she's owed?
I had his back through everything. When she kicked him out, he came crying to me. When he had nowhere to go at, when you had nowhere to go at, you came home to me. And you would have knocked both of them, and you asked me to have them. Not once, but twice.
Ms. Lewis says after she met Mr. Pippins, she moved into another apartment. Mr. Pippin moved in with her because he had nowhere else to go, because he was having troubles with Ms. Sanders. They started having constant sex together. Mr. Pippin asked her to have his first child. Interesting. A wave of murmurs echoed throughout the courtroom. The judge interrupts her, trying to get the facts right, especially for those at the back. Everyone clapped.
Fast forward to 2010. Again, I had moved into another apartment. He moved in with me because he had nowhere to go because them two were on the house again. So he moves in. Me and Mr. Pippin had sex again. This time was a repeated thing. This is when he asked me to have his first child.
Mr. Pippin admits that he was in a sexual relationship with Ms. Lewis. Unprotected sexual relationship. So why was he having doubts about the paternity of the child? He says during the time of the pregnancy, he was not around. Oh, a timing issue. He says he was staying with Ms. Sanders when Ms. Lewis got pregnant. Ms. Lewis says she has proof to counter what Mr. Pippin was saying. She submitted a timeline of her window of conception.
So you admit you were in a sexual relationship with Ms. Lewis,
Yes, ma'am.
not using protection.
Right. Because the time around she got pregnant, I wasn't out here and I wasn't in Greenville at the time she got pregnant.
The evidence Ms. Lewis submitted shows that her child was conceived around May 25th. Ms. Sanders says Mr. Pippin was living with her around that time, so it was not possible for him to be responsible for the pregnancy. Ms. Lewis was in the background, trying to interrupt Ms. Sanders, suggesting that she does not agree to what Ms. Sanders was saying, since they were only 30 minutes away from her place. Many would think they were 3 hours away.
Your child, Quayshawn, was conceived May 25th, around that area.
Yes, ma'am.
It is your contention, Mr. Pippin, Ms. Sanders, that Mr. Pippin wasn't even around?
He wasn't because he was living with me in Tarboro.
Ms. Lewis says she was not dating anybody at the time. She trusted Mr. Pippin because he promised her that they were going to start a family together. He even gave her a ring. Wow. When she told Mr. Pippin about the pregnancy, he asked her what she wanted to do with it. She told him that she was against abortion. Mr. Pippin says if she decides to have the child, he will be there for her. Little did she know he was lying.
I trust Mr. Pippin. He kept telling me we're going to be together. We're going to build a family because he told me, I wanted you to have my kids. I'm coming home to you and only you because he had gave
me a ring. And he said, I'm coming home to only you, and I want us to build this family.
Mr. Pippin says he started having doubts about paternity when he saw Ms. Lewis with her ex-boyfriend. Now we are getting somewhere. He called her, and she didn't answer, so he went over to her place. Ms. Lewis says the time Mr. Pippin was referring to was back in December. She was not pregnant then. Ms. Lewis started crying. She says the child does not even like Mr. Pippin because of the way he treats him. He gives the child a cold shoulder.
I tried to call her phone. She didn't want to answer her phone.
Your Honor,
so
when
I
he
went
said-
to the house. By the time I got there, she was back to the house. So I asked her about it.
Ms. Sanders says she has proof that the child does not look like Mr. Pippin's. She was Mr. Pippin's attorney at this point. Ms. Lewis was shouting in the background, angry with both of them. Ms. Sanders submitted 2 pictures, one showing her own child with Mr. Pippin, while the other was a picture of Ms. Lewis's child. Both kids are 1 week apart in age, and there's no resemblance between them. Well, looks like someone skipped their science classes.
Please explain, Ms. Sanders, what this evidence is.
On the right side is my child that I have with Mr. Pippin. On the left side is her child.
They look just alike. So Quayshawn is on the left, and your child you've had with Mr. Pippin is on the right.
Mr. Pippin submitted a DNA test result to the court to show he was not father. The plot thickens. A heated argument broke out between Ms. Lewis and Ms. Sanders. The judge had to restore order with the gavel. Ms. Lewis says Mr. Pippin manipulated the DNA test. The judge wonders how he was able to do that. Ms. Lewis says it doesn't take much to throw your DNA off.
Mr. Pippin and him that day, going forth to the bathroom, chewing us stuff, whispering Ms. Sanders about different things.
Yes, Your Honor.
And
I was
asking her,
witness.
she kept saying, well, did you do it? Did you do it?
But Your Honor, but I did not.
To the bathroom,
Your Honor, how can you
Hold on, so what's this?
I need some parental
Let's get some order.
Ms. Lewis's mother was called to the stands. She says that Mr. Pippin was not genuine with the first DNA test, that he was going back and forth to the bathroom and whispering to Ms. Sanders at the same time. Mr. Pippin says there was no way he could have altered the DNA results or compromised the process. I think we have all seen enough. Only the DNA result can settle this matter once and for all.
When it comes to 2-year-old Quayshawn Pippin, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Pippin, you are not.
I told you then. I told you.